Happy New Year. Westwood, I brought you on. I'm surprising you. I didn't give you a lead in or warn you or anything. Happy New Year. I didn't warn him. Yeah, I totally like set you up for failure. I apologize. I didn't do our typical lead in because it's just a hangout, man. What's up? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. It's almost New Year. I know. I failed you. I'm a bad friend. Sorry.
Hello, McFly.
Sorry, I failed you. I failed you.
Go back
Hey,
in.
you know what? This is a perfect way to end 2023. Oh, and he's gonna bail on me. I thought about like just leading in with this because this is a little bit of hope. But we'll just see how it goes. There, you're bringing your own entrance. Welcome, Westwood.
Welcome. I thought I might leave the glasses on tonight. I don't know.
You changed your volume though. It was so much better a second ago.
Was it?
Yes.
What the flip? Hang on.
It was muy excelente, and then now it sounds like muffled.
Really?
Yeah.
It's killing me here.
It was so good.
You're killing me.
Can you hear me when you don't have your
No, it all went blank.
thing in?
I mean, you were frozen. I was backstage. I looked at the live feed over here on the other thing, and I could see myself like struggling.
Oh, really?
And then it like just went frazzled.
The volume was like really great.
Bitch. All right, I'm gonna leave and come back.
Okay, we'll try it again. So I'm going to say hi to some peeps in the chat. Charlie G, Cha-Ching X, Pippa Huffman. That is my friend, Miss Pippa. I posted a couple of videos over on the Mighty Merchants. I hope you checked out the Mighty Merchants channel, Miss Pippa, because I talk about you all the time over there. You're kind of a big deal over there. Love you, and thanks for all your help. Durand, Johnny Midas, Happy New Year, Charlie G. CWPFOC. Happy New Year, everyone. Viva Flav. Letha D. Oh, good to see you, Letha D. We haven't seen you in a while. Warrior. Good to see you, my love. Miss Gloria. Mark Weems. Who else is in here? Clint Westwood's here. Oh, there he is. What you drinking, Westwood? Cheers. Something red to remember.
It's probably got red dye 40 or something. And it's maraschino cherry juice. I made an old fashioned, but I didn't have the orange to put into it, so it's kind of rigged. Kind of rigged up.
John Morgan, Blind Dave. I gotta make sure I mention everybody's name that's posted so far. Okay, I think I've got everybody so far. I'm mostly caught up. Yeah, we thought we would jump on here and say goodbye. See ya. Farewell. So long. Wiedersehen.
So long.
To 2023. Yeah, I have some other choice words to say. There's my handsome husband, Charles Davis.
He's handsome.
Well, he's a hell of a Packer. He is not as fast of a Packer.
He's not from Green Bay, but he's a Packer.
And I'm right now. Shopper. Miss Pippa got onto him and said he has to work on his packing skills because I shop faster than he packs.
Oh, well, we might know a guy who could help him out with
That's
that and
true.
Get some lessons.
We know
a couple guys. We know a couple of guys that can help out with that. See, it's all about the fam. It's all about, the skills, bringing skills to the table, as we go forward, but depending upon them and depend on we so that we can, do our thing going forward, rebuild our own way.
I'm pretty excited. And it's about like relationships,
it is.
Connections, experiences. I actually got to meet, I was introduced to connected with one of the fam at the warehouse estate sale clear out place. They also do big estate sales. And I was connected with one of their like longtime friends Oh Lord, I see an alien.
I could actually, if we want to go
That
full
song
alien.
from, what is that song from when we're, it's no fun being an illegal alien. Do you remember that?
An illegal alien. Was that Phil Collins? I don't know. Charlie.
It was Phil Collins, wasn't it?
I could have. I just channeled it.
Yes.
Didn't have to put the tarot card down. It just came to me.
Lord.
An illegal alien.
You were a mess. Now I forgot what I was saying. Anyway.
It's the antennae.
It's the antennae. You were channeling it.
Yes. Blocking your frequency.
We would jump on and say hi.
Jump on it.
I did hear that Clinton will be named as number 36.
36. Yes.
36 in the Epstein trial or reports or email
logs,
whatever comes out.
Revelations, the Epstein revelations.
So, Sean talks about that it'll kind of be like Area 51, that they've talked about it so much that at this point it'll be a nothing burger and everybody will be like, yeah, we know. Everybody knows.
Well, it's a nothing burger unless we make it a something burger.
Yeah.
Is really what it comes down to. But I think, that may be at the point where we're at, to where that's what they do. They know it's coming out, and so they try and preempt it and do certain things to kind of numb you to it and roll it out beforehand. And, oh, yeah, we already heard about that. And then they don't look into it, Oh, he only flew on the plane 25 times. Okay, what was he doing? And what was it really about? What was the trial about? I mean, what were they doing with, people? And, the horror needs to roll out. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, everybody likes a horror movie. We need to have the horror movie. This is the point where we need to get tragic. We need to get horrific. We need to make people see the truth.
Speaking of movies, so Trump's last State of the Union, he said "Gone with the Wind" multiple times. Gone with the wind. They don't make them like that anymore. And in fact, I picked up a couple collectible 50th anniversary. Thank you, Miss Pippa.
That was a good year and a bad year, 1939, because The Wizard of Oz, the movie, came out that year, and Gone with the Wind.
Same movie? Same year?
Hitler rolled into Poland that year. So 1939 was a big year.
I did not know that was all the same year.
Oh, yeah, same year. I don't know why I know that. I just know that.
Okay. Wow, that's crazy. So that's really wild. So we picked up 4 Gone with the Wind 50th anniversary collectible dolls today for the store. Thank you, Miss Pippa. And then when Trump gave his last State of the Union speech, he talked about, they don't make them like that anymore. They use that old, reel to reel tape. And, not this digital stuff anymore. And I think they're going to show people, that's what I think they're going to show people, is that they've been tricked with this AI and digitized video and all this kind of stuff and the green screen, and that maybe the Ukraine war wasn't really even happening. Or they're going to show people that they were tricked, I believe, in some way or some manner.
It's pretty expensive, but, it might not have happened. But it cost a lot of money.
The money was going somewhere else. We know that.
Going like this.
It was going to Nancy Pelosi's pocket.
Revolving door.
Everywhere else. Yeah. And then people will understand, I can be tricked. So what else have I been lied to about all these years, all this? And so then people will understand, we need to put down our guards and our egos, humble ourselves, and find out what the truth is, and then where is the truth, and where is the real?
Where do you find the truth? It's man's quest for meaning. Footage. Where is the quest for truth? Where do we go? Was it Viktor Frankl, Man's Quest for Meaning? I don't know. It might have been. But I mean, that's where we're at. It's like, what is true? I watched the live stream earlier today. Just a synchronistic thing. Crypto Blood and Rice Crypto were on a live stream today talking. And I hop in, and not 1 minute into it, I feel like Hobby, not 1 minute into it, I hear Rice talking about the Vampire Casino.
Oh.
He says, "This is Vampire Casino," and he says, "Hey, shout out to Clint Westwood." And I'm like, I just showed up, and and then here he is shouting it out, and and then I hop in, a little bit later, he's like, "Oh my gosh, Clint Westwood's watching," and that gives me pleasure. That gives me validation. Not even
validation. The universe is always validating.
Yes, exactly. And it gives me the, I'm glad that somebody could hop onto that and realize that is a useful analogy. And he said, that's like the greatest analogy ever. That's like the greatest thing, because that explains what's happening right now. And I'm like, yes, get that word out there. It is a vampire casino. That's what we're playing in. And so, yeah, it was just a synchronistic thing, that happened. So, I just had to
that is very
spill
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't even going to watch it.
When somebody else
on it and
hears the truth, the truth resonates. When you hear the truth from somebody,
yep,
it sounds right. It's a frequency. It's a vibration.
Feels right.
It feels right. Yeah. And that's what we're going to start hearing the truth from each other, and it will resonate. It'll sound right. It feels right. Something's true. When you see something that's beautiful, it resonates. If you ever go to a museum or whatever, and people are just standing there staring at a piece of art,
drooling, yeah,
because it resonates with you.
It hits something in your soul, and that's what art is. It's a manifestation of someone's inner being. It's what's in their heart, their soul, and they're able to express that in an outward way. Art is. I had an art teacher in college, and he said, define art, and everybody's like, I don't know, painting on a wall, I don't know. And he said his definition was, and it always stuck with me because I thought it meant sense. It was truthful. It's what we're talking about. Resonated. He said art is an outward expression of an inner belief. So it's what's inside you, and you're able to express it out there in the world to where people can see it, and then they look at it and they're like, wow, that hits me. And so it's like that boomerang thing, it's like you put it out there and they see it, and it's like it comes right back into them. And I mean, when you can create certain works of art, whatever it is, music, visual, audio, whatever it is, that's what it is. It's just your soul talking and able to express something that can last, outside of, your lifetime, that somebody can look at in a museum and say, holy crap. And you stare at it and you're like, wow, that just hits me in the feels, I guess, to modernize it. Yes. And that's what it is, though. That's art.
I have to share one more
spiritual
thing from today. Speaking of art. Okay. So I walked Westwood through this earlier. This was another amazing find for the shop. These are, if you guys are about my age-ish, everybody knew who Mary Engelbreit is. Age-ish. This is a whole collection of Mary Engelbreit signed, numbered prints. There's different like holidays. These are just this side is just prints. All the frames are the same. They are custom. They're all, custom, very nicely done. Pictures, glass, the same frame. This one picture has no glass, has a different frame. It's been removed from the frame. All the rest are the same. And notice it is the one that says Arkansas, Easter at the White House, 2000. Oh, look at that little girl that looks like Chelsea Clinton. The cat socks, Easter at the White House. Why is this one taken out of the frame, the original frame that matches all the other ones? I'm guessing, just guessing. And was something taken out of the sealed back? Was there something else in there?
It's a very common thing.
Very strange. Yeah, was there something hidden in that picture?
Right, you see a lot of that art to where something's actually, excuse me, behind it, hidden. There's artwork all the time, to where, we paint over it and then they replicate it and restore it, and there's art behind it. So was there something in there that is no longer there? But that image itself, you're talking about Arkansas, we're talking about Wizard of Oz, talking about Kansas, we're talking about, all these things tying in, the White Rabbit, down the rabbit hole, all these, the cat, the Cheshire Cat, Alice in Wonderland. I mean, you think about all these connections, what you're talking about right now. Lisa is that person on earth right now. I always, when I first met her, I thought, here she's this sylvan goddess that comes out of the woods, this connecting to nature. And I mean, but the more I get to know her is she makes the connections of all these things that we think, oh, that's absurd. That's crazy. What are you talking about? And then she showed me this, earlier. And I'm like, well, that looks like right off the debt clock website, just popped out of it.
Yep.
That's what
this
it looks
is
like.
The other one.
Images.
This is the other one that we found. And it says, it is red for love. It is, what does that say? And it is white for law. It is blue for the hope that our forefathers saw of a larger liberty. And then down here, are you guys able to see in the corner right here? So it's signed Mary Englebright.
Tilt it back a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see if we can see the light. Down there at the bottom left, it's hard to see. Man, you had it the perfect angle, when we were looking at it earlier. It's hard to see. It's down to the bottom left of the flag hanging. Yeah, point right there.
And it says Anon.
Yeah, 4 words, 4 letters in one word.
A-N-O-N.
In caps.
In the grass. Anon.
And it's like, what is that? How does this?
It's number 51500, 5x5. What?
Well, when I think 51, I think about Dick Butkus, number 51 for the Bears. And we had Thurand at the Bears game today. What an amazing game. I'm not a Bears fan, but, all these things are kind of connecting.
What is that about?
There are no coincidences in this life. I mean, you think about the magic of our being and all the things that have come together to put us where we're at and to make us who we are, and all the things that we run into and find and resonate with us. Again, talk about resonance and frequency. This resonated with Lisa. This when I saw it, I'm like, wow, that's something I've seen before. You know what I mean? It's something that's like it's outward expression of an inward belief. Somebody put that out there, and I'm like, okay, that connected with my soul in some way. I'm not really sure how. Lisa puts those.
I didn't even pick up on the debt clock thing.
But here we are. This is what we're all about, though. We're all about making connections. It's all about us, kind of putting pieces together and finding that way forward. And I go back to, and somebody said something about Paulie said that in the Spaces, on Friday. He says, like, oh, you talk about this lighthouse, and it's like, that's what it is. It's a lighthouse. We're shining light on all these things, and here we are in the darkness, and there's this light, and we all focus on it. We're like, okay. And all these wandering boats out there in the dark sea, we're coming together, and we're coming to the lighthouse, and the light shine upon certain things, and we just wake up, and that's what it is. And I hesitate to use the word great awakening, because so many people have tried to make that into a Luciferian thing now. But it's like, no, it's an individual thing. It's a great awakening for individuals. That's where we're at right now. And so all these connections, all these things, you cannot discount them.
Yeah.
I mean, it resonates with your soul. And that's what you got to think about. Okay, does that hit me somewhere? Hit me in the fields? Does that hit me, in this place to where, okay, yeah, I see that there's something there. And when there's something there, you got to pursue it. You can't help yourself. You got to go down the rabbit hole. You got to go chase these things.
Can't make something dark that is light.
No, and that's it.
You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
People try to say like,
there's good, there's bad, and it's like you can make it good or bad. We talk about hurricanes. Hurricanes are beautiful, but they're also very destructive. And that's life. And I mean, we can make what we will of it. And, we can say, oh my gosh, God punished me. And it's like, no, maybe God said, I cleansed, all the old stuff that you wanted to get rid of. And now it's time to move on to a new life. Mm-hmm. And, you've got to look at it that way. And you can't think that, oh my gosh, woe is me. No, you're alive, you're breathing, you're living in this world.
What are you going to do with it now?
You got to keep going. You got to keep moving forward. Absolutely.
There was I don't know if it was, some post about something, and it might have had a Nasera Jacera thing in it. I don't know. And people kind of take what they want from those kind of things. And some people get really hung up on the wording of all that kind of stuff. But
they shut down.
Do I?
And they shut down.
Yeah. And I try to focus on like the good information in it. And I really liked this one thing was like, stop focusing on the scarcity and the thought of thinking that there's a lack of, or that you got the shaft, or you are a slave, or you are that there's, not enough of whatever that it, we live in a world of abundancy. There is an abundance of air. We never worry about, am I going to have enough oxygen today to breathe?
That's exactly what I was thinking in my head. I mean, am I going to have enough oxygen today?
No one thinks about that.
No, because
you're going to have enough oxygen. You're going to have enough, everything that you need today to do what you are called, I'm in Oklahoma. So you guys, excuse me. We just talk like that. But whatever tools you need to get the job done of what you're here to do on this earth, you're going to have what you need if you have the intention in your heart to get it done.
The universe provides.
So get it done. Get excited about it. Know that it's in front of you to do what you want to do. Get excited about it. It's going to be there.
It's all, think about in your life, when you like let go and you're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. This is ridiculous. And then once you give up and you like give over to, the world, the universe, not the world, but the universe, to God, whatever you want to call it, whenever you get to that spiritual moment where it's like, I'm done. I don't even know what to do. And once you do that and you like submit to the universe and say, all right, what do I need to do? It just falls out in front of you, because, you eliminate that human pride, that hubris and that emotion of, I can figure it all out. I got all this done, and once you do, I'm bad at that. And I've been bad at that in the past, but you get to a point where it's like, everything works out when I let it work out, and then you think back and you're like, have I ever not needed what I needed? And I'm like, well, not really. Yeah, I'm coming close to the edge, and I've struggled, but, whenever I need something, it just magically shows up and you got enough. I feel like I'm that dog treading water, to where it's like, I'm always got my head above water, but, and it's like, okay, when it's time to get out, there's something to reach out and crawl out. But it's just that, there's a plan. And, as long as you continue to participate, as long as you continue to put out good things, you'll get good things back. And, you don't know what your path is. You don't know who you're going to touch and, what influence you're going to have, but you got to keep doing it. Otherwise, I don't think you're fulfilling why you're supposed to be here, so you keep doing what you got to be doing.
And being here goes so fast. I mean,
it's crazy.
I turned 51 this year. Like if we look back at, it's the end of the year.
You got to think.
We kind of look back.
Like 51 or 50.
Yeah, if we look back at this year, like I'm over the hill.
Right.
The black swan is
good, because that going up the hill is a hard process. Let's get up on the hill and let's see
what's going
on out here finally. We can kind of get a better view.
Oh man. But it goes so fast. There's a sweet little lady at the shop today, and she was so excited. Her husband was looking through comic books, and she said, we decided that we were going to, she has one grandbaby, and she said we wanted to have something where we could, because she's far from her grandchild, and so she wanted something that they had a tie or a connection with this grandchild, and so they decided they were going to have like collectible comic books, that was going to be their tie with this grandchild. And so they collect certain comic books that are valuable, I guess, and then they send these to the grandchild, and this is their connection with the grandchild. And so whatever that is with people, whatever. And I thought, about my children, how fast they're growing up, and like my oldest now, Charlie's daughter's getting married this next year. And, I'm sure they'll start having kids right away. And my oldest came home for Christmas with his wife.
I hope so, right, Lisa?
Yes, I'm hoping. Babies. I got more Bunnykins Wedgwood this week. Babies. So I'm ready. I'm ready for at least 3 grandchildren.
Need babies.
Whenever the kids are ready, I have all the proper
all the things.
Plates.
Ready to go.
I'm ready to feed them. Yes. So I'm ready whenever the kids are ready. But
Grandma Lisa.
I can't
Can anybody envision this? Grandma Lisa?
Oh, dang.
But I think Grandma Lisa's ready for this chapter.
I'll spoil them all.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. I can't wait. Like, we'll break stuff and make messes and go shopping, and I can't wait. Yeah. Swimming and all kinds of things. Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun, but I'm just like, it goes so fast. And I understand how, I think that's why grandparents get so excited about it, because they understand, by the time you're a grandparent, you understand how precious life is and how precious each moment is. And that's why I love, like, when we do our meetups and we get together with the fam that's in the chat, like, I love these people, and like, we get to kind of talk during the shows, and talk on the chat and in chat rooms and in Telegram, we share information and stuff. But like, when we get to actually be together, like, that time is so precious, when we get to spend time together. And so I don't know, Charlie was like saying, like, his birthday's coming up, and he's like, gosh, do you remember when you threw my 50th birthday party? And I was like, I can't believe that was just like 7 years ago.
Like, boom.
When did that happen? Like, what, how quick does that happen? And then what are we doing while we're here during that? If we're here to, I believe we're here to learn. So let's make the most of it. Like, let's use up every single second. I guess maybe that's part of the reason why I can't sleep lately, is like, let's use every single second, which I know time doesn't really matter and all that. And then I get into then I really won't sleep, because then I'm like, well, time doesn't matter. So who cares?
So why do I care?
Sleep?
Why do I care what the clock says? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah. So what was your, like, okay, what if we have everybody, I'll put my glasses on so I can read, because I'm 50 plus.
50.
Find 50. Them. Now I can't remember.
50.
Yeah. What was everybody's, like, hi? Should we ask? Oh, what we should do is Freedom Fam. Do you think that would be cool with Freedom Fam if we did? What does Joshy say? Happy high, grateful low, or what? How does it go?
No, see, I've forgotten more than I've ever learned.
Oh, we need Joshy.
Find him, get him on here.
Maybe I can get him to come on and join us. I'll send him an invite. So when we get together with Bix and Amy and Paigey and Joshy from Peppleton Post and Jenny Moonstone and Clint Westwood and the whole crew, when we're on the road, we always do like a family dinner. And then we do this like happy, high, low, happy, thankful, or happy, grateful. I can't remember what it's called.
I'm usually outside smoking a cigar at that point.
You are not. You're at the dinner table, or Amy would have your.
I'm eating all the scraps.
I'm not in your tail.
That Lisa won't eat.
Yes, you do eat all my
vegetables. Pass it over.
Being naughty.
Can't waste it.
Yeah. I'm gonna see who can join. Hold on, real quick. Why don't I have that chat? Oh yes. Do I have it marked?
I think about it this way. Here we are, ending 2023, and we've got the opportunity, this is like okay, we're ending 2023, and, F you, big finger, 2023 was horrible. 2024 could be even worse, but it comes down to, are you going to allow it to make it worse? Are you going to allow these people to make it worse? Or are you going to, just say, this is the life I want to lead, and lead it, just do your thing. And I'm a firm believer in, if you don't give power to, what is going on in the outside world, you just kind of disconnect from it. That doesn't affect you. And I mean, it's what you put out is what you get back. So I think it's very important to do that and manifest, the reality that you want to see, because that's who we are, that we have the power to be able to do that. So if we don't do that, and if we just follow along and let someone lead us, then it could be a horrible year. Absolutely could be. But I don't think it's going to be a horrible year. I think it's going to be a wonderful year. I think it's going to be a great year. And so we have to, think of it that way, as what do we want to do? Where do we want to put ourselves? Where do we want to see ourselves this year? Do that. And I think that the universe will provide those tools to do that, whether it be crypto, whether it be gold, whether it be silver, whether it be relationships that, new people you meet. It doesn't matter. They can't stop that. They can't destroy that. And, it's really up to us to make that happen. and see ourselves where we want to be. You know, that fire of humanity is really what it is. You know, let that burn inside of you, and let that become contagious like a forest fire, you know, and just get out there, and that flame, that lighthouse, whatever it may be, that light, you know. And there's reasons why we have these words, and you know, it's just that, you know, that it's that feeling. We have to be able to, you know, put that out there, and not let the darkness overwhelm us, and think that there's no way to change anything. I mean, you just look at your everyday life, you know, how much of an effect does it have that, you know, we've got a retarded president, you know? Seriously, how much does it really affect you? You know, and so
it doesn't affect us at all. So then
you can't let it affect you.
Important is he at all?
Right. And
it hasn't affected us. So, you know.
And so you build your own reality where you're at, and you let that light continue to build and build and build, you know, and you know, just expand upon that darkness. And you have to do that to where we have matches. You know, you're looking down at the U.S. and, you know, say they're going to have a blackout, you know, oh, we're going to have a blackout. Okay, fine. I'm going to light a match. Okay, there's a match. There's a match. There's a match. There's a light. There's a light. There's a light. You know, and that's what we have to do. We have to continue to do that to just not allow that to bring us down. We are that light. I mean, it shines from inside of you. So do it. Do it.
What Nadafomo said.
Just be you, boo.
Which I did share. I thought it was, which I don't know if I'm supposed to say that out loud. Whatever. I won't say that. I'll tell him that later. I shared something he created with someone who uses a word that he uses. But never mind. Yeah, and Westwood, you were the one that brought up that looked like US Tech clock. I did not connect that, which is interesting.
It had the same frequency, the same vibe to me.
Sometimes I will be like starting to say something and then you'll say it, which I think that's interesting too. I'm sure you guys, we all have like those kind of like moments. It seems like there's more and more of those moments lately.
Synchronicities.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're all like on the same wavelength, same brain, you know, spiritual path, whatever it may be, whatever you want to call it. You know, that's the lack of, and that's what we talked about Friday on Spaces. It's, you can call it a name, but we're lacking the vocabulary. I mean, we're all on the same wavelength. We just lack the vocabulary to express that we're on the same wavelength, if that makes sense. To where I don't believe in good and evil. Well, yes, there's good, there's evil, you know, but it's like, you know, it's really about your perception and how you look at things. I mean, you can look at, okay, what's evil? Well, you know, Les Miserables, you know, the famous, you know, book, and, you know, the French book, and, you know, and then the play, Les Miserables, so many people call it, you know, Jean Valjean. You know, you go out and steal a loaf of bread, you know, for your child, because, you know, my child's got to eat. And, oh, that's evil. You got to be punished for that. You're doing wrong. And it's like, well, is that evil that I'm trying to feed my child? Well, this person thinks it's evil, but you don't think it's evil. Your child doesn't think it's evil. And it's just that, you know, what is good and bad? What is, and you know, we're that's what we're going to have to struggle with. And that's where we have to have discernment going forward, because there's so much of the confused language. There's so much of, you know, what is right, what is wrong going forward. We're not going to know what the truth is, and truth with a capital T. The only way that you can know what truth is with the capital T, and what I mean by that is what you are, you know, what is, you know, what you're connected to, you know, in that channel, you know, to the creator, you know, in this world. You have to be able to discern what that is, and what is right, what is wrong. You got to look inside is really what it comes down to, because all the tools are in your toolbox already going forward. And I think this year we have to really use that discernment. We really have to look inside, and we really have to reconnect to, you know, fundamentals of, you know, who we are and why we're here, to make accurate decisions rather than emotional decisions based on what people are trying to convince us to believe, because there's so many tools now. I mean, again, you know, you can see Lisa, you can see Clint Westwood, you can see all these people, you know, in an AI form. oh yeah, I like him, so I'm going to listen to whatever he says. I'm going to listen to whatever Alex Jones says. I think he's, on the right track. I'm going to listen to Joe Biden. I'm going to listen to, listen to yourself, and then all that's noise. And so, oh, okay, you might resonate with that. You might think that's okay. And okay, it just validates who you are. But ultimately, the only thing that validates who you are is that inner belief, that inner thing that you were born with, that you've got to let out. You got to let that fire just get out and become an inferno. And all of us need to do that. And that's kind of where we're at. You trust yourself. You don't trust anybody else to make your decisions for you or set your path, because your path is right here. You should know what that is, and if you don't, find what it is. Connect with it,
and find your tribe and love them hard, because that's like the way we're
going to know it when you find them. You'll know it because it'll just be like that tingly, melting sensation towards like, yep, this is the right person. I need to be around this person. Because they got the same vibe, the same frequency, whatever you want to call it, because we don't have the language to express it. You just know. It's a knowing. It's just in you.
Yeah.
It's like art. Like so what we're talking about.
It is like art. And it's just also like the it's not just things, it's places, it's people, like you're saying, the things that draw you together or bring you good energy, but it's also like not giving energy. And you talk about this, like exiting the vampire system or vampire casino, not giving energy to the negative things. And you don't have to give them negative energy. You can just disconnect. My mom always said, like, it doesn't matter what they say about you, or what. We moved around a lot or whatever, and so it was hard to fit in sometimes. And especially moving to like drastically different cultures, from one environment to the next and not fitting in or whatever. And she's like, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't make you something because somebody said something about you or whatever. Like, just ignore it or whatever. Like, just disconnect. Stop giving them your power. And that's what we've been doing that for too long. The minute I was talking in the Veritasium official, or chatting with some people, really good people in the Veritasium official chat room. They really want free markets for people. They really want good opportunities for like the whole world, a lot of the people in there. And so we're chatting but at the same time, we've been taught that we need to have these boundaries. And as much as, I'm a patriot, I love America. I'm proud of, our military. I'm proud of, when I say our military, I'm proud of our soldiers. I'm proud of the people that loved our country and our fellow Americans. I'm proud of the people of our country, and so, but we've been taught that these boundaries are necessary because we have to protect what's ours, because we've been told that we have been paying taxes for it, and that they're going to
owed something.
They're going to come get your stuff. Well, if we stop giving handouts, then there's nothing to protect. Like, if you just own what is yours and you're not giving away free stuff, there's nothing for someone to come take. There's not free stuff that's being handed out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm saying that the right way, but like,
I know
no one's coming to line up for a soup kitchen that's handing out nothing. If we stop with the handouts, then only people that want to come here and work hard for freedom in a free market, sure, come bust your tail and work hard in a free market.
And do something. Contribute. Leave it better than you found
it.
That's all.
Build this country.
It's that simple. It's that simple. Leave it better than you found it.
Right.
I mean, are you going to show up and just because of a promise of some liar that says, "Oh, I'm going to give you this and give you this and give you this, and so I need your vote"? Is that the path? I mean, is that validating to them? Does that help them as on their soul journey? Does that help those people? No, it doesn't help those people. Not at all. All it does is divide and conquer. That's all they're trying to do. And so you see this, 300,000 people came into this country in December. 300,000 people came into this country in December. I mean, that's what they're telling us. But I mean, and then the cities, you've got Chicago, let's go Brandon, oh, well, because the blacks are upset now because, you're letting in all these people that are like overrunning their neighborhoods and having all kinds of gimmies and handouts. And so now the people who are in Chicago are upset because it's like, wait a minute, you're promising us all this stuff. And now all of a sudden, you're giving all these things to people that just showed up. Oh, well, we need to give reparations now. We need to take $500 million and give reparations to the people in Chicago, and then you see California, Newsom doing the same thing. I mean, all it is divide and conquer. And what are they using to divide and conquer? They're using fake money. Mm-hmm. Oh, we'll give you a handout. We'll give you all this fake shit. I mean, because that's basically what it is. Ultimately, it comes down to, where is the real productive capacity? Where is the real community being developed? Where is, how are we like getting along? Because, I mean, there's a world of abundance. Like you said before, they're trying to create a world of scarcity. Right. And, they're living in their castles and they're like, whatever, truck shows up and brings me my food. I got my organic gardens, F you all. And, you can work for me for slave wages, but I mean, you see the play that they're doing right now. And it's just, I would rather have every country abundant. I would rather that every country, why do you want to leave your country? Because you've got food there, you've got resources there. But the thing is, with the artificial money that gets created, what do? They hijack it. They put leaders in charge that,
they steal your time, your energy.
Absolutely. They steal your energy and they don't
money
let you benefit from the
slavery
earth that you're in.
Any form of money creates slavery. And I would even say precious metals. And this is what I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, because I've really been like trying to unpack this. I wanted to talk to you about this because I was watching, I think 107 was talking to Tom Numbers. I resonate with Tom Numbers because I like all the math and gematria and numbers thing. And I like the puzzle and the unpacking it and where do you hear something? And not everything is a puzzle or a comm or whatever, but there are some things that are. Yeah. And so he was talking about, he did a whole episode about currency. And I also don't think 107 is like telling you everything, but I think he leaves clues or things for you to unpack. Breadcrumbs for you to unpack and interpret and put points together with other videos and information. And if it makes sense to you, then that's for you to interpret. Because this is the part of the Great Awakening is getting you to start critically thinking, getting you to think about it, not having it Google fed to you, not giving you the answer, having you figure it out.
Yeah, because if you don't, you're going to be spoon fed all that stuff because that is the enslavement that they want to create. I mean, Google it. I mean, give me a break. They leave out 99% of the real information. They give you the ad feeds.
If you are watching any influencer and they are telling you the answer, you're not thinking for yourself.
That's not the answer.
And that is not the answer. That is a lie, because this is about awakening all of us. It's about critically thinking, ungoogling all of us. Google is like the Tower of Babel. It is the numbing, the dumbing down, the turning off your brain. This is about awakening, critically thinking, trust yourself, all of that. So any of that that's a lie. And once again, that's my opinion. So think for yourself on that. But I'm thinking any middleman, including gold and silver, because we are energy. We are what's valuable. We are the commodity that's being traded. Even gold and silver is a store of
It's a representation of your energy.
That's all it is. Yes.
That's all it is.
And any of that can be
manipulated, like it has been. It's been manipulated. It's been manipulated.
Has been
absolutely has been.
And anytime that's put in someone else's hands, then we are made slaves. So anytime any form of currency creates slavery, until you put, and this is what Bitcoin talks about, taking custody of your assets in your own possession, our IP, our energy, our everything about us. Everything from when I had that conversation with the guy last week about the sports people with their, oh God, I'm never going to say it right, but the image, name, image, and whatever in the sports industry, they talk about it. Somebody in the chat might be able to help me, but their IP basically
their brand,
yes. Likeness, name, image, likeness, NIL, something like that. Okay. Then anytime you give that to a third party, then you're a slave of that third party, whatever. And it can be manipulated. And so
somebody can buy your songbook, your artwork.
Right.
George Soros can buy, Taylor Swift songbook.
Right.
I mean,
all of that is.
So where does that leave you?
So all of that has to stop, even to the point of gold and silver, I think.
I agree with you. I mean, anything that comes out of the ground that you don't hold in your possession. I mean, think about what it takes to get gold and silver out of the ground. Yes, it's a wonderful form of money. It's a great store of energy. I understand
we could use it to transact.
Absolutely.
To represent.
However, what's a better transactional value? The fact that, Lisa, if I tell you I'm going to do something and, hey, come back next time and it's going to be here waiting for you. You're going to trust me on that. I mean, right. We don't need a form of currency that somebody defines as currency or money to do that. No. I mean, it's between you and me. It's a truly peer-to-peer transaction. And I mean, and that's where blockchain kind of gets a little bit further from the old system to get to that point to where, it's the human intervention is not involved, to where we know that we can trust it. However, none of that really matters. I mean, the only thing that really matters is, it's just that handshake is really what it comes down to. I made a video like 3-4 years ago where cryptocurrency is a virtual handshake. That's all it is, because it's just replicating our energy to where I touch your hand, you touch my hand, I shake it, I look you in the eye, and that energy transfer right there should be all that matters. Now, cryptocurrency can kind of, fill that void when we're not near each other. If someone's in China and I'm here and they have a good and I have, something I can send them, it's a better form of transfer of energy, of value, so to speak. But, ultimately it comes down to, I mean, your word is your IP, your word is your soul, your word is your spirit, your word is the power. And I mean, you think about what created the world, the word, the spirit, the breath, all that, tied into one. Yeah. Exactly. And when you understand the frequency, absolutely. When you understand that frequency of somebody, it's like, hey, bro, I trust you. I know you're going to do it. Yeah. And that's all you need. You don't need some intermediary. You don't need that thing. But unfortunately, what has happened is we need that thing because we have commerce around the world. We have commerce, we're not in a community anymore. If we're in a community like we were, rewind, then we have that ability to look people in the eye. And if you don't fulfill your obligation because you committed to it, your word, your breath, you breathed it out, your spirit, and that's what it is. That's really what spirit is, just a breath. It's you. When you give your word, when you don't do that, the community says, hey, you didn't fulfill it.
There's accountability.
There's consequences. It's like, bro,
there's accountability of
get it done because you said
and there's consequences.
But when you get on a larger scale, it becomes problematic. And then I go back to
people get lost. People show up in black hoodies, and there's no accountability. Nobody knows who that is. It's such a big community.
There's no word, there's no consequences, there's no skin in the game, there's no spirit involved, there's no energy involved. Yeah. The real energy, that comes from you. It's just, hey, I'm going to take it because I can. And then it's a might makes right world, which is a physical world. And it's not a spiritual world anymore. It's not a consequential world. It's just that, hey, I can kill you because I got more guns, or I got more people, I got this and that. And it gets us into that whole thing that we're into now. we're gonna blow this country up. We're gonna do this because we can. We're gonna, and it just gets us into it's not a justice-based system. It's not a rightful system. It's not a righteous system. And so I go back to a lot of times to where, the Jeffersonian thinking was we need to have a nation of, very subsistent farmers, a very subsistent culture to where we can grow our own stuff, to where, we are accountable to what comes out of the earth. And it's, but now it's just expanded to such an extent through money, through power, through all the things that it's just, we don't have direct connection to people. We don't have direct connection. We can't look at people in the eye and, be accountable. It's like, F you, we're going to print money. F you. We'll print money and, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do?
Well, and the court systems are not holding them accountable.
Right. And none of them do. And all the systems that have grown up through that fake system, that magic, is validating it because everybody's invested in it. They're all invested in a fake paradigm rather than a real paradigm to where it's like, hey, bro, you kind of did me wrong. Yeah, you did him wrong. And everybody standing at the bar says, yeah, you didn't honor, what you said. Your word's no good. And that's the thing. Everybody in Washington, D.C., your word's no good. We send you there. Lauren Boebert, well, I can't get elected here in the 3rd district, so I'm going to go to the 4th district. And it's like, okay. What's that?
You don't live there.
I mean, did you fulfill what you said you were going to do over here, but now you're going over here, and it's just like you just want to be up here, detached from people, detached from your word, detached from reality, detached from looking people in the eye and being honest. And we've got to get back to that point. But what have they done? They built systems to where we don't have to look people in the eye. It's all digital. And if they can keep doing that, they know that they're disconnecting us. They disconnected us from the money to where we don't hold it in our hands anymore. And it's like a complete, well, it's not mine. Whatever. It's like there's no tangible connection to it. So it's like easy to swipe the credit card, and it's just like there's no real transaction to where there's no gentleman's agreement, so to speak, to where you look somebody in the eye, you shake their hand, say, hey, I'll make it right. Because there's nothing to make it right anymore. It's fake. It's a fake system.
To savings too. I thought about and I know we talked about this in our class with about the weight of silver and how they took that was part of the plan or whatever, was because it used to make your purse light. Silver
in your hand. You don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah, you don't. And so they took us from a savings based system to a credit-based system to where it's like, well, how much payment can you afford? How much debt can you afford? What's your payment every month? How much payment?
Yeah, what can you afford a month to put you in this car?
Yeah.
How much can you afford this month?
So because
what's your monthly
people
payment?
could feel the weight of their purse getting light, and they would be like, oh, wait, I'm getting rid of all my silver.
Yeah, I don't have that tangible
weight of my
connection
coin
anymore. That thing, that I'm like, I know I have something,
right.
And they've disconnected us from that though, to where it's like, it's all ethereal. It's all just a,
I mean, if you think about a 0 point in an account, they went from having savings, maybe going backwards on the screen, I'm sorry, but having coin, savings, weight, balance.
All the people with dyslexia are going to have a problem right now.
I'm sorry.
Because we're going this
to a 0 point, to the point of having negative weight of debt, and they don't even notice it. They just have a payment that goes out every month, and they just keep swiping that card.
Think about it. What's your net worth? And then you think about, that's kind of a scale term. What's your net worth? What's the scale balance? And it's like, well, I've got, $1 million in assets, even though I've got, $10,000 in actual cash or something else to back it up. But it doesn't matter. My energy backs it up. As long as I'm alive, I can keep making the payments. And, so again, it's your energy that's feeding this whole thing. And once you understand that it's your energy that contributes to it. All right. Predictions for 2024, I was going to get into this later, but it comes down to, what are things of real value going forward? Food, seeds. The lightest things in the world, heirloom seeds, you know, some things that you've saved from last year that you can put forward, or you can go out and buy heirloom seeds that you can plant. And look at the abundance of that little tiny seed that floats on water. How many tomatoes can that grow? How many pounds, you know, of tomatoes? You know, that's how you tip the scales. That's how you know, get back to real tangible wealth, things that have value, things that have weight, things that have, you know, that are important. And I think that's how we beat this regime. That's how we beat these vampires, because they want us to be in this artificial, you know, floaty, crazy magic world. We gotta, excuse me, we got to get to the point where we understand what we need as human beings. And I mean, you know, as much as they've done to contribute to destroying the earth and poisoning us, we still can put a seed in the ground and grow it and have all this wealth and all this energy. And I think that's the new revolution, to where if we can all produce food, if we can all produce, you know, food that's nourishing for us, that is the thing going forward that we all need to focus on. Because they have their vaults in Switzerland, they have all their vaults of seeds, because they think, hey, we're going to nuke everybody, we're going to kill everybody, and hey, guess what? We're going to come out on top, you know, like little vampires, you know, and little reptilians crawling out of the ground, you know, on the desolated landscape that they destroyed, and then we'll go into our seed vaults and we'll restore ourselves. It's like, no, we've got to do that now. We've got to make sure that we have the ability to sustain ourselves now, and produce those things now. And they're trying to stamp that out. They're trying to genetically modify everything, sue you because, you know, you're growing things next to a genetically modified crop. And, you know, no, I mean, we all need to do that now, because we outnumber them. We have to build sustainable futures outside their system. We have to build things that are nourishing and healthy and natural, and, you know, in the image of God, basically, is what it comes down to. And, you know, and that's what it is. Reproduce naturally. I mean, not gender bending seeds. No, heirloom seeds.
Yeah, heirloom. That they can reproduce. Hey, isn't the seed vault, is that in Chocolate Mountain, or what's it called?
There's probably several of them. I know there's one over in the, you know, like Switzerland or somewhere in the Europe, you know, I don't even know. But I'm sure they have multiple seed vaults. You know, they want to go underground because they're, you know, they're like the Morlock, you know, and you read The Time Machine, you know, you go into the future, H.G. Wells, and you know, the Morlock, these creatures, you know, and they feed off the people, the beautiful people, you know, they're innocent, you know, that lost all their knowledge of who they are. They want to take those beautiful people underground and eat them. And it's like, no, that's not that kind of future we're going to live in. You guys are all weak. You're all a bunch of freaking, you know, vampires is all you are. It's like, you don't exist unless it's us. You know, we're the only ones that feed it, you know. And so what do? We keep playing in the vampire casino, or do we walk out and say, no, you're a bunch of stereotypical Klaus Schwab, Palpatine Emperor pieces of crap? No.
There was a Simpson prediction for blackout for tomorrow that I was gonna play for you guys.
I don't know if for tomorrow. I've seen it passed around the internet. I don't know if it's for tomorrow or what, but I've seen the dome, you know, coming down in The Simpsons, and it's very predictive. Matt Groening with the whole Orion cube, seeing images from the future. I mean, you know, he may have, you know, ability to see things that happen in the future. He may be telegraphed like the X-Files, or the CIA wrote the frickin' script. I mean, you know, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. They're trying to telegraph our future, and it's up to us to decide, no, that's not the future we want.
So reject it. Yeah, there it is.
Opt out. Nope.
The globe. Simpsons.
And if you're the military helicopters, you know, when you watch that video, if you play it, they're all, you know,
this is it.
They're flying it in and dropping it down.
So the irony is that they're showing military helicopters flying over, or attaching to the globe and on it.
Don't be that military pilot. Say opt out. Say no.
There
I'm not following these orders.
There was recently a report that all these military helicopters were ordered and they were refused to be delivered.
That's what you do.
That was the plan, and then it was refused, and it says EPA on it, on those helicopters. So maybe it was thwarted. Maybe that was the plan, but it was thwarted. I don't know.
But that's what needs to happen. We thwart their plans, you know, because they cannot do what they need to do, because they're a bunch of weak, pale-faced, freaking loser vampires that, you know, talk a bunch of game and they can't do anything. They can't carry out anything without foot soldiers. So, who are the foot soldiers? It's us. And so if you don't carry it out, if you say, this doesn't feel right, what am I getting out of this? Am I going to get a free college education out of this? What good's that going to do you now? Come on, man. I mean, they're giving you a bunch of stuff that they've created that has no value, nothing. And so you got to feel it in your gut. And that's why I say trust yourself. And that's why, there's nothing wrong with following an unjust order. You should do that. It's your obligation to do that. If it's unjust and it's unjust, yeah, you might have to suffer. You might get court-martialed. You might get, whatever, kicked out of the military. But, you have to follow what is right in your soul, in humanity, rather than following unjust orders. Yeah. It's your duty to not follow them.
Bitcoin face. Did you see that?
Always say that again. No, this cartoon series. No,
isn't that white tiger?
Are the writers and producers of The Simpsons?
There's a V for Vendetta face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty interesting. I'll put these in the Telegram for you guys to check out, so you can check them out. Yeah, you're right, Westwood. I mean, that doing the right thing is worth it all day long.
It really is, because, like you said before, how long are you here?
You're not here very long.
And do you want to live with a regret that, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have followed that order, but I did.
I don't want to live
because of this,
in eternity thinking I did the wrong thing.
Right. I mean, you're going to sell your soul. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and sell, lose his soul? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's like they can promise you all this stuff that really doesn't matter, but you got to boil it down to the core of what really matters. It's not just following orders. It's not just getting a medal. It's not just, and I'm not dogging the military. It's just that I want people to wake up and realize that, we have a country because people sacrificed everything for freedom, sacrificed everything for the rights of humanity. And I mean, we've got to get back to that point to where it's like, it really doesn't matter. None of this really matters, because, you don't want to be on your deathbed giving a confession and say, oh, this is what I did. I'm sorry I did it. No, F that.
I got one more thing that this was pretty freaking epic. Am I sharing screen? Did you see this National Guard thing that said about Batman?
Mm-mm.
Batman gets help. This is California Army. California National Guard. The hashtag Batman gets help from the National Guard. Always ready, always there. This was when it flooded or whatever. Oh, dang it. What did I just do to myself?
With the coastal surges?
Yes. And then the National Guard retweeted it with 2 flames.
Really?
Yeah. That happened.
World needs more heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. You're all the heroes. You think of Batman. What's Batman? Batman's a human being that was scarred, tortured, had loss, and has gone through everything that we've always gone through. And, people can relate to Batman. I mean, when you watch all the movies, you watch the comic books, I mean, there's a tortured feeling of I've been wronged, and then I'm going to do something about it. And so that's up to us. We are Batman. We are those superheroes that, because Batman doesn't have any special powers. He's not Superman. He's not Aquaman. He's not, doesn't have anything. No, he's a man that's got a suit with a bunch of gadgets, like Joker says, Jack Nicholson. Where does he get all these wonderful toys, and it's just like, no, it's the fact that there's a human being that says, all right, I'm going to do something. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight, in the dark, against these evil creatures and not let them win. And that's what we all have to do. We outnumber every one of them. I mean, we outnumber them so badly, it's just that, but we live complacently, and we say, it'll get better. The pension will hopefully be there. And, I'm just, a couple more years and I'll get my pension. And the thing is, but you're going to get paid.
Somebody else will do something about it is the problem.
And it's like, there's no savior coming for you on this earth.
Do something about it.
There's nobody here that's going to do anything about it. They might, stop the flow for a little bit, but ultimately it comes down to you to do something about it. It's like, how valuable is your life? How valuable is the life of your neighbors, your children, your family? I mean, how valuable is that? How valuable are your rights? And you've got all the tools to be able to defend those. And so we need to do that. We need to say no to these people. Absolutely not. You're not doing this. We're done. We're done. That's it.
Yeah. Pretty exciting. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. I feel like we are like, I don't know if you've ever been, well, I'm sure a lot of us have been in a rock bottom situation with a loved one. I feel like we're that situation with America. Like it's our loved one. We love America. We love the America that a lot of us grew up, I mean, when I was a little girl, like I grew up with the Barbie that was President Barbie, you can be anything you want to be, and I loved, my grandfather was in World War II. My papa was in Korea. He was an atomic war veteran. My uncle was in, the military, they're West Point grads. My grandfather and my uncle, my biological father got kicked out for cheating because he's a piece of crap. But anyway, I digress. But there's many wonderful people in my family and that love America. I love America. I love the people of our country. And it's like this bittersweet thing where it's like, okay, all right, guys, we're down. We're the underdogs. And we've broken, we've hit the ground and we see our ways. I think we see our ways now. I think we see the corruption that these wars have brought. I hope. I feel like a lot of us see the corruption that these wars have brought, that it didn't help the people in these countries. It brought a lot of destruction to the individuals, and it brought a lot of contracts that padded a lot of elites' pockets. And I think a lot of us didn't make those choices, but we see the destruction that brought. And now it's like, okay, now we know better, we can do better. And we need to put mechanisms in place to hold people accountable for that. Make sure that never happens again. It's one thing when you don't know what happened or how that happened or how those structures were put in place. Now we see it. Now we can put things in place to make sure that never happens again, right?
I think that's what needs to happen. It's a very difficult thing for most people, just because it's hard to divest yourself from a system that you thought was, it's storing up all your energy. It stole all your batteries your whole life. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to get Social Security, you're going to get this, you're going to get that.
No, we're not. No one's getting shit.
I know we're not, but I mean, it's hard to divest from that, thinking I got $500,000 in retirement. I got to hold out for that. I got to keep working and slaving away for that. Yeah, they're going to kick me in the teeth, but yeah, it's all right. I got dental insurance. It'll be fine. And at some point you realize it's a losing game. And
but there were people that were willing to get a shot that they thought might kill them so that they got their retirement.
I know.
I can't even.
I got to keep my
job.
That
never made sense to me.
I know, but see, that was a grand experiment that they did on us, and it tested a lot of people. And unfortunately, a lot of people who made that decision are not going to make it. And and so we need to learn from that.
Restart. Some people need to reboot their computer, and we'll see them next time around.
And you know what? I think we are waking up as Americans, but the problem is now that we've got 300,000 new people that don't know the game, because they're looking at where they came. That was just last month. We've got millions of people who have come in this country because they've been ushered in because of all the handouts to the non-governmental organizations. They've gotten funded. That they are ushering people in. They're bringing them into the country, into the interior, and these people don't understand what that freedom is because they don't have that history. And we are bringing them in, or people are bringing them in to where we're not going to fight anymore. We're not going to volunteer. You know, like 9/11, everybody's like, oh, we're going to go fight the enemy. We're going to, suit up. You know, like World War II, 16-year-old kids, I don't care. I got to be 17, 18. I don't care. I'm going to lie about it so I can go fight the Germans or fight whatever enemy we think we got to fight. We don't see that anymore. We don't see Americans saying, I'm going to go fight in foreign wars. So we're past that. However, what these entities do with all the unlimited money that they print is bring in more people and give them handouts. And then they're going to say, hey, become a part of the military and you can have, part of the promised land here in America. And unfortunately, they're not educated enough to know that, how they're being played, just like we've been played. We're waking up from being played. But, so let's bring in a new crop of people that we can play. It's the same old people. It's the same old vampires running the show. So how do we overcome that? How do we,
I didn't understand why the guys at the local Mexican restaurant were leaving. They were having a hard time staffing the restaurant. They're like, oh, they went to fight in Ukraine. And I'm like, what the hell? Well, I didn't understand what was going on. But I think those deals were being told to them.
Well, they're making new foot soldiers and saying, hey, we're going to give you this. We're going to give you that.
Yeah. We'll rush you through.
Don't worry about your green card. Don't worry about that. You need to go fight in the war as a mercenary, and you come back and you can get all the benefits that, the GI Bill, whatever. You're a citizen now and you can go benefit from all this stuff. And I can't begrudge those people for that, but I do begrudge the people that have set up that system. And we got to realize that they're setting up that system. And rather than, thinking that we're the sanctuary, we're the people, we've got all the abundance and all this. No, the world's full of abundance. But, what has happened is our government through, the artificial monetary creation and all the, the 3-letter agencies has destroyed those countries. Look at Argentina. I mean, look at countries around the world. I mean, what have they done? Look at Africa. I mean, what have they done? They've gone and hijacked the leaders and paid them off, and then they've stolen all the resources for profit. And instead of allowing the people to benefit from those resources because it's their land, I mean, it's their shit, but instead, no, we're going to rob you of all this stuff and make you think that you have nothing. And so, well, let's just ship them over to America and destroy America because that's the last bastion of hope, last bastion of freedom, to where people understand that what human rights are. And so you bring in people who can't speak the language and we can't communicate with them. We can't educate them. And then, who are the people educating them right now? Well, you're going to get this, you're going to get that, you're going to get that. That's great. Cool. And if you don't have a job because we don't have jobs, well, just go into the military.
But if the dollar's dying,
and it needs to die faster is really what needs
that's
to happen.
What I'm saying is if there's nothing to offer them and we are one and we're all equal, then dude, you're just one of us.
But there's too many people that are not allowing the dollar to die because, not enough people realize that there are tools to opt out of it and say, you know what? I don't care about my retirement. I don't care about this shit. I don't care about everything artificially denominated in a vampire casino chip. But there are too many people that do, and they're going to perpetuate the system as long as they can. And these psychopaths that run the system understand how we think. And, I know people who, well, I know it's bad. I know it's going to end, but, I'm still getting my retirement. So I'm going to milk everything I can out of it. And it's like, that's probably not the right mindset. We need to understand that, it's not helping the bigger picture here. You got to understand who the enemy is and understand who's doing this and understand they're enslaving you. And it's a big conversation. I mean, it really is. Mm-hmm. And so it's, again, I urge everyone, if you have the opportunity to, if you've ever felt that need and you know that things are falling apart, get into a situation to where you understand that it's all going to collapse because it is, and you get yourself into a position so we can rebuild. I mean, that's what we need to do. We need to be in a position where we can rebuild, and food production is the most important thing. Sound food production, the way to nourish people, sustain people, and, just realize who we are as people. I mean, because ultimately it's going to come down to that. They're going to starve us all to death. They're going to take everything away. I mean, they're going to give people all the handouts, but at some point, those people who are getting the handouts, they're going to realize, wait a minute, these people screwed us over too. And so you've got to have a sustainable future going forward outside of their game. It's just, I don't know. I can't express it like I want to. It's in my soul. It's in my heart. I wish I could paint.
Good job. I get it. Elon just tweeted 5 minutes ago a little spaceship star LFG 2024, more starships, and
that's always been the thing. I took a class, I went to a liberal arts college. I went to Eureka College. That's where Ronald Reagan went, many, many decades ago. And I went there, Eureka College in Illinois, a very small school, probably 500-600 students. I never took a Scantron test where I had to fill in, the blanks. I always had to explain myself. I was writing the little books, okay, what started the Civil War? What were the causes? This kind of thing. And so I took a senior seminar where we had to read, 8 to 10 books. And a couple of sci-fi books, a couple of Robert Heinlein, several books that I had to read, to where you have to, we got into a discussion. This is my point. We got into a discussion on one of these books of, should we go outside of our planet? I mean, should we go to Mars? Should we colonate this? Should we colonate that? And my argument was always, until we can fix things here, we're just going to take our problems somewhere else. I mean, it's great to go to the stars, but it's like, who gets to go to the stars? I mean, is it just another elite system that gets set up there because the people have the wealth and the ability to go there to escape, the reality that's here? And it's like, no, we need to fix things here. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing repeated over and over again, and the same people get rich. I mean, we've got to figure out, where we're at and realize that, we don't have to leave here. We have everything we need here. The fact is that we have been entrained to keep playing in a game that just is rigged. It's fake. I mean, we've got all the resources here. We can take care of the whole world, but we've got people at the top, a bunch of vampires that have created an artificial reality, and it's going to get worse because they have the technology now, and they've got the robots that they can create. And I mean, and if we don't stop that, if we don't resist that here, it doesn't matter if we go to Mars. That's going to follow us there. The Terminators are going to go there too.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Wherever you go, there you are. Yeah.
And
okay, so I am having this weirdest idea, and this is so crazy, but what if, and I know this sounds totally crazy because everybody thinks, and myself
included, the world needs a little bit more crazy because we're not there yet.
So forever, this is going to sound totally crazy. Okay, so Killary's a lesbian. Uma Abedina, whatever her name is, her lover, has been for years. So Bill was never her lover. He was like, just like a puppet, a cover for
a Rothschild, implant. That could not reproduce because he's sterile. And so Hillary is Webb Hubbell's daughter.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry.
He was Chelsea. There's some weird, I don't want to talk about all of the things there. Anyway, I won't say all the things running through my head right now, but what if he was a good guy? Like, what if he was a mole that was gaining information? What if he went in the darkness? Like, how they go, like, how, like, remember in the old days in the movies, they would like show somebody would go in and they would have to do drugs to go into the Hells Angels gang.
No, absolutely. There are stories about that everywhere. And I can't think about the guy in the Northeast Coast, the big gangster that there's a movie made with Johnny Depp. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody in the chat knows it, but yeah, they were like,
what if he like married Hillary to find out all the dark stuff on the child sex trafficking to be able to bust this, because he's just kind of disappeared at this point.
He liked to have a good time, you know, he liked women. I don't think he was into, you know, a lot of weird stuff. You know, but you know, you look at Hillary and you think, I don't know. It's hard to tell. And see, this is what's coming up now. This is where we're going.
There's a lot of attention on him right now, but not a lot. And look at this. Look at this famous picture about him in what's her name's dress. The shoes were about them selling to China, but that was Hillary doing that. That was about the Rothschilds selling America to China and him pointing at you.
I mean,
what if he was the mole?
Even if he was, you know, it doesn't matter. It's up to you to discern that. It's up to us to discern that. He could be a mole. I mean, you think of any family.
What if he's going to expose all of this?
Oh, and he may, by proxy, he may be the exposer. But, I mean, ultimately it comes down to, you know, even if you know that, if that's the case, does it matter, I guess, in your real life? And it's just, you know, I mean, do you trust Mitch McConnell? As
long as the kids are safe, as long as it stops and the children are safe, it doesn't matter. But this is just like, I'm just having this thought.
Yeah.
And can you imagine if Bill Clinton goes down as a patriot?
I hope he does.
I hope he does.
I'd rather him do that than go down some other way.
I hope he does. Wow.
And I mean, you could say the same thing about Trump. You could say the same thing about Elon Musk. You could say, you know, I mean, all these people, I mean, you know.
That's kind of a crazy what if.
That you think are the darkest people, are they maybe, you know, like triple agents? I don't know. But the fact remains, even in the midst of darkness, there has to be some light. Even in dark families, there are people who step forward and say, I can't do this. I can't be that person. I cannot perpetuate this because I've been abused. And I have to do something because I know it's not right. Now, I don't know who those people are in this movie, but I know there are those people in this movie, because you got to look at yourself in that. Could you continue to do the dark things the rest of your life? I mean, there are people on their deathbed who admit things. I mean, because they're just like, I regret doing what I did and I have to get that truth out. I mean, the whole Catholic Church is built on that, to where you have to confess your sins, and you feel there's a reason for that, because human beings have to confess their sins. You commit the perfect crime and, you know, you've played by the rules your whole life, but you know, if you've got any kind of conscience, any inkling of a conscience, you know, it's, I have to tell the truth, because there's something inside of them that tells them that they have to do that. And so, yeah, there could be a lot of those people that we think are bad, that have been bad and done bad actions, that could come out and say, okay, this is the truth, you know, and I have to tell you this, you know, I cannot hold it in anymore. And I don't know the answer, you know, maybe he is, maybe he isn't, you know, maybe there are some people that, you know, I don't know. That's why I keep gravitating back to who you are and knowing who you are. I mean, we've all been through trauma. We've all had traumatic events. We've all done things that we regret. And, you know, it's the same with these people in the elite circles. You know, maybe they've been ushered into things that, you know, they didn't realize what they were doing. They kind of knew it at the time, but they went along with it. They went with the flow. You know, hey, I got to get in Skull and Bones because this is the thing. This is the method. This is the path. But you know, there is redemption. And I mean, if you're a Christian, I mean, you know, you believe in redemption. You should. And it's just, who knows how the movie plays out. Ultimately, we decide how the movie plays out, because it's, you know, we've had all these little individual movie houses, you know, in our own lives. You know, it's not just one big screen. It's multiple big screens, in our own lives that we have to contribute to and realize who we are and forgive ourselves and say, yeah, screwed up, made a lot of bad mistakes, did a lot of bad things. But I mean, you acknowledge that and you say, okay, can I do better from here on out? I'm old enough to know better now. And, there are some people that just keep going down that path, and just keep spiraling down to hell. But, there are other people that say, yeah, maybe I'm going to keep spiraling, but I have to do something, because, maybe there's some sort of redemption that is there that I have to do because, I just have to do it. I don't know, it's.
Yeah, because life is short and life is really long. It depends on if you think it depends on if you think this is life or do we.
There's countless stories of people making deals with the devil that then try to get out of it, that try to get out of it and say, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I screwed up. I shouldn't have done that. And so how do I get out of it? What can I do to redeem myself?
There's a new Christmas Eddie Murphy called Candy Cane Lane. And it's a deal with the devil, but it's a deal with like the elf on the shelf.
Yeah, it's always comes in a different form depending on who you are, right? It's not the Yeah.
It's crazy.
Stereotypical devil with horns. It's never that.
No.
It's always something else.
It never looks like that. Well, Westwood, do you have predictions for 2024?
I do. I have Litecoin predictions. And I was good. I was pretty good on the Litecoin prediction, last year. I picked the dates right. It's just that I thought it was going to go to $240 around June, and it went to 120. Yeah, I thought it was going to be 240, but it went to 120. So I was half there. But I think that, all you people out there that are struggling with Litecoin,
please sell me yours.
There's a reason. Yeah, please sell me your Litecoin. I'll pay you in Redcoin. Yeah. But it's Redcoin popped up on CoinMarketCap. Massive. But I look at it as, it is one of the true cryptocurrencies out there. And, my thinking is, yeah, I mean, everybody thinks, I think it'll go up, at the beginning of the new year, which is now. However, I think we may have to wait until May, around May, before it really pumps. I mean, before it really finds its true value. Okay. So, I mean, if you're a Litecoin holder, wait 5 months at this point. After that, I don't think there's any stopping it because, I mean, I've looked at the charts. Because the charts just paint human emotion. They paint a lot of things. There's a lot of fundamentals underpinning it. I think if you can hold out for 5 months at this point, then, I mean, that's the worst case scenario for me. After that, it's going to find its true value as a cryptocurrency for what it is at that point. And I think a lot of people will be shocked. A lot of the haters will have to reevaluate, the hate.
I feel like the cryptocurrency at this point is like the future money, where like they are going to try to shake everyone's hands.
They will.
Not especially, just the weak
especially hands. Bitcoin. Especially Bitcoin with the ETFs.
Bitcoin, Litecoin, all the like
they want to grab
it. All the things that are going to be in ETFs, they're going to try to shake every hand, not weak hands, but every hand, because it's going to be the last chance to hold free money, free currency.
It really is a spiritual war, and it's a test of your metal. It's a test of not metal being, silver metal, your metal, METTLE. I mean, it's a test of your soul, your spirit, and knowing what works outside of their system, and they want to usher you into that vampire casino. They want to suck as many people as they can into it before they can't control it anymore. And ultimately,
it's going to be like somebody like walking some prostitute cocaine by you when you could have like the perfect woman and
you're like, okay, I could get a cheap thrill tonight and have a good time,
right?
But if I wait, I mean, I'm set for life.
Yes.
You know, there's the Twilight Zone marathon going on Sci-Fi
Yes.
right now, and if you watch some of those, that Rod Serling, how he painted those things, I mean, there's truths in things. There's truth in, you know, Twilight Zone episodes. There's truth in the X-Files. There's truth in the Bible. There's truth in Shakespeare.
The Matrix.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you watch those things and you understand and you glean the truth from those, I mean, they're teaching you about humanity. I mean, and so at this point in the whole cosmos that we're in, if you're worried about, you know, changing your life, if you're worried about, you know, how can I make things better, you know, and things don't feel like they're going the right way, if you want to make things better, Litecoin right now is a tool to be able to do that. Now, is it permanent? Is it, you know, is it something that's going to last forever? Is crypto going to last forever? I don't know. But ultimately, it comes down to, I mean, I want to have heirloom seeds. I want to have dirt that I can grow these seeds in. You know, that's what it comes down to. That's life, because then you have ultimate freedom. You have ultimate control of your life. If you have a tool, and I think you have a massive tool, I think you have a very disproportionately abundant tool that you're never going to have in your life. If you can hold on to that thing and have that thing, and Litecoin is that thing right now, if you can hold on to that for the next 5 months, I think that you can, you know, fulfill your dreams as far as, you know, doing the right thing for humanity. And I think that's all crypto is. It's just a tool on the economic battlefield that is something contrary to, you know, what they're giving us. And I mean, you know, those people with patience, and I think a lot of people in Litecoin have had patience because they know it's like the thing that works. I can transfer value any time of the day, 24 hours. I mean, you know, and nobody can stop me from doing it. And cheap transactions. I mean, limited supply. I mean, it just makes sense. But I think the end game is being able to disconnect from any encumbrance, any part of the matrix, and getting back to real things. And I think that's what 2024 is all about to me. It's getting back to real things and what brings you happiness. And if there are tools out there that can bring you happiness, you should probably pick them up and use them.
I have
to
this
fight that battle.
Very strong, like, I feel like, you know, when I was pregnant and I had like the nesting urge, like I have this very strong urge to get land. Like I have this,
and that's an important thing. That's
very strong
that's
urge
like the closest
to get
thing
land.
to God that there is. I mean, there really is. The closest thing to your creator is the land, because again, you know, it comes down to, as you know, you put a seed, there's a seed in your belly and it grows. And I mean, you feel that, you have that tangible connection to it, and you feel all the emotions. I mean, when you plant a seed in the ground and you have the ability to do that and have that land, I mean, it nourishes you. It just, this intangible magic that is part of something greater than who you are. And if you can acquire something like that and get free from the matrix and the cities of the matrix, you know, I mean, the technology is the matrix. I mean, get back to those things, because I think those things are going to be important going forward, to be able to have a place, have something to where you can produce real things to really make sure humanity survives. Because I think we're really at a point where humanity is at it's at a desperate point. And some people will survive, and I have no fear about that, and I know that it will happen. But so many people have been deceived into thinking that it's all going to work out. You know, I'll have these things.
I think someone else is going to do it for them. And so I love people, and I love to be able to care for others. And I want to have resources to do that. And I feel like land is going to be a part of that. And I know you feel the same way.
All wealth comes out of the earth
for years.
All wealth comes out of the earth.
Yeah.
And so if you have that real earth and you have those real nourishing things, that's what you want to be a part of, and, you know, get, you know, be able to feel it. And I mean, it's a magical thing. And so for people in the city who have never experienced that, I mean, you think about it, you know, somebody had a video that said, I don't know, just here in the last week, that said all states are red, you know, all states are conservative. And they're like, well, what do you mean they're all conservative? Yes, they
Only
are. No,
cities.
it's the
There
cities.
are some cities
it's the
that are
cities
blue.
that are blue.
Yeah.
It's the land. And I've said that many times. The land is red because everybody wants to be left alone. Everybody wants to be able to be human. Everybody wants to be able to take care of their family and produce. But it's the cities that are unsustainable. And it goes back to that Jeffersonian model of everybody needs to be a subsistent farmer. And he understood that even way back at that time, 250 years ago, to where if you don't understand your connection to the land, you do not understand your connection to your creator. I mean, we have an artificial construct in cities, and you're dependent, and you're going to be dependent upon the people that are like connected and produce things. And I want a vibrant community of people who can produce things, not genetically modified stuff, not Monsanto stuff. I mean, I want people who have abundance, who can create things out of the ground to feed the world, rather than, what they're going to try and pose to us, that all you farmers are evil. All you people out there in the outlying areas, you're starving us because you're not giving us food, here in the cities, and we have to take over your lands. And I mean, and that's, look at the earth, look at the United States. I mean, look at the population centers, and then you look at all the dirt that's out there that can produce things magically. I mean, we've got to get a little piece of heaven and start producing for everybody else.
Yeah. Outside of the US, I remember we had, oh gosh, I can't remember if they're from Thailand or Korea or something. There were some missionaries that came through, and they thought it was so weird that we were having a conversation with them over dinner, and they were like, it's so strange. I was like, what do you think about, America and whatever? They're like, it's so strange that you toil over your land that produces nothing. And because any piece of their land produces food. They don't have grass that produces vanity, and in their country, if you have even this much land, it better produce some food, damn it, because people are hungry,
No, exactly. I mean, and
absolutely.
It
used to be like that. Victory gardens, bring back victory gardens.
We need to bring back all the things.
Front yards had, the backyard had a cow, and the front yard had a victory garden.
Whatever you need to sustain yourself. Yeah. I mean, you think about, where's the milk come from? Where do your vegetables come from? Where does the meat come from? It comes from, ultimately, what's the cow eat? Well, it's got to eat something that comes out of the ground. So, I mean, you got to think everything that sustains you comes out of the earth. And so what is the most important thing to have? It's the earth, the dirt. And what are they trying to pollute? What are they spraying the skies? What are they spraying on the fields? They're trying to pollute that stuff so they can have a big petri dish so they can produce enough food to fill your belly. But, you're not sustained. You're not nourished. It doesn't give you any nutrients. And so we have to get back to a point to where exactly what you're saying, and we don't have leadership at the top to tell us that. So we have to discern it, and we have to do it for ourselves. And the price of land keeps going up. I've looked and looked and looked. I look all over the country, and I mean, there's not a lot available. The thing is, though, if you have a tool, if you have an economic weapon, if you have something that can lever you up, rather than the stock market that they control, rather than a pension that's locked up in something, rather than Bitcoin and ETF, if you've got something, whether it's gold, silver, or crypto in your own possession, this year, you will benefit from that. And you take that when everybody else wants it. Think, what do you want? Well, shoot, I want those 2 acres. Or, I want that house on, this land, where it gets a lot of rain. Get yourself into that position and hold out for that. And when you have it, break free. Just exit the casino. Exit. And when we have more people exiting, when we have more people who are self-sufficient, who can produce things not only for themselves, but 10 other people, those are 10 other people that are on your side because they understand that.
That's all I want. I want my little patch of heaven. I do
absolutely.
I need
that's how we create heaven on earth, Lisa.
Pretty things and
that's what you
around.
say. You want your patch of heaven. That's how we create heaven on earth, because we control it and we are in charge of it and we nourish it and we do good things with it rather than destroy it, rather than, worry about, the profits for the next quarter.
No.
It's just that simple. We just take control of the land, and F you. You're done. And that's where the sheriffs come in. You got to have a good sheriff, and protect the land. And, we just build up.
Sheriff
Westwood. Build up from the grassroots.
Yeah. I vote for Sheriff Westwood. For sure. I would get behind that. I'll be a deputy under Sheriff Westwood for sure.
And the thing is, I would deputize everybody, that's got the right, thing going on, that understands this.
Sure.
And that's how you fix it. It's like, that's your militia.
The landowners, the people
because they have interest and they have skin in the game and they understand, what's important.
Can you recite the preamble of the Constitution?
Yes, we the people.
Do you know your rights?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it comes down to. It's very simple. It's not that hard.
Whoa,
but it comes down to,
this hard, people.
And the thing is, the Constitution, when it was written, I mean, it was, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but it comes from a concept from John Locke in England, life, liberty, and the pursuit of land. And he understood that the pursuit of land, having land was very important because, you think about the kings and, all the lords and,
land.
And what did they do? They wanted everybody to work the land for them. I own the land, you don't own the land, and you're a slave to me, basically, and you produce, whatever you produce, you got to give me a certain percentage. It's like, no, that's not how it works. The people that produce, things off the land, they should be able to sell that to other people and not give it all to the king so they can live, gloriously.
So explain that. I mean, mostly everybody probably knows this, but so in England, only the king owns the land. You may only farm the land.
Feudal system.
And you can only live there if you are farming the land.
You're a tenant farmer. I mean, basically, you live there.
So you must be an active slave.
Yeah, that's it. You're in. Where are we now?
Or you cannot even live there.
Where are we now? Pay your taxes, or we're going to take your shit.
Pay your taxes, or we're taking your stuff. And if you don't pay the taxes, we kick you out.
Yes,
that's the whole death tax thing that Trump is getting rid of.
And that's what
if a farmer dies and his children want to inherit the land, and they don't have the money to inherit the land that their parents already paid for.
It doesn't matter. They already have it.
It goes to the government or whatever, even though it's paid for in land. That's such crap. So Trump was getting rid of that. I say Trump. When I say Trump, I'm talking about, the movement of that is
the spirit of freedom. Yeah. And I mean, over here on the wall, I've got the original freaking patent for the land that I live on. That Martin Van Buren,
I need to show you
the president of the United States, the 8th president, signed and gave, it said, hey, you paid for it with, whatever gold, silver, whatever it was. You have a patent to this land. The land that I live on now goes back to that original patent. Now, get into a government discussion, you get into Native Americans and all that stuff. But I mean, ultimately it's like, well, who owns the land? I mean, is it a right of a government to come in and take something that you're paid for, that has been paid for?
No, it is
not. It's absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong and unjust. Okay. And until we have people who defend that and people who stand up for that right, that this is your land, you have a right to that because it is yours.
So
then we're at where we're at.
Oh God. And of course it did not share. Maybe it did show. So I think Reddit must be like super libtard or something. I'm not allowed to post.
There's just a lot of trolls on it.
I follow things on there.
They hate everybody.
Every time I try to post or make a comment, even, I get told you have no karma to post and do a thing and whatever, and I get kicked off, and I'm not allowed to do anything on Reddit. However, I do follow things, and I do get little tidbits of information. So I continue to follow it because of that, even though I don't like them. But I want to share this with you guys. this popped up, and they're like, does anybody know what this is? A territory bond. And so I followed this story, and people are like, what is this territory bond in Oklahoma? So you know about the land run in Oklahoma? Does anybody know what this is?
Yeah, you put a big flag out there, you get like 40 acres or 20 acres. I don't even know what it was. You get out there and
I think it's 40 acres. It's a quarter section.
Tom Cruise was in a movie where he goes out and races and, he fight people for it and shoot people.
Yeah, anyway.
Put your flag in.
So my city was actually first staked by a woman in Edmond, Oklahoma. County clerk's office, Oklahoma County, Oklahoma Territory. Oh, how funny. It says nobody responded to this post yet. There were tons of posts. There were tons of responses. It's all been deleted. Oh my gosh.
All right, Lisa, what does this tell you?
These
pieces of shat, these vampires. And so listen,
there was all this information on this, and it said like 1907, blah, 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 state of Oklahoma, no. All this has been deleted.
Right. And see, this is the world we're going into this is where I'm frustrated and I struggle because, here I am almost 51 in February, Aquarius, Charlie G, shout out. So it is all of the knowledge that we have, it's going to get lost. Think of your grandparents.
Wow.
They fought in wars and they had the oral history. Think of Native Americans, that oral history. They want to wipe all that out because, hey, put everything digital, put it in the cloud, and it's always going to be fine. And, blockchain, that's great, putting on a blockchain, but if you don't have it in your hand, if you don't have the source material, I've got documentation from that, little printout on the wall that I got the Bureau of Land Management certified, says, hey, this is the person that bought this land. I've got the history of everybody since him who bought this land, and it transferred hands into the hands that have it now. And it's just, you've got a recollection of that. You've got documentation of that. We're going to lose all of our history because of the digital world, because they're going to usher it into us. And I talked about this on Friday on Happy Hour. You're looking for a movie, and the movie, it's no longer on Netflix. If you don't have it on VHS tape, if you don't have it on something that you hold in your hand, if you don't have the book,
I was going to tell you this, Westwood, for your homeschooling
erase our history with digital in the digital world. It doesn't exist when you search it up anymore. You've got to get these things in your hand right now. Whitney Webb talked about it with Peter McCormick. Download everything you can digitally.
Put it on a hard drive.
The most important thing,
wrap it in aluminum foil. Wrap it in aluminum foil.
But the most important thing is they can't EMP a book. They can't EMP, those written words. And so, now's an opportunity. The most undervalued thing in the world right now is books. Our books. And you go get them at a thrift shop, go get those things, go understand those things, go find those remedies, go find those things that you can learn from going forward, because if you don't have them, then you've lost everything. You've lost your history. It's like the Library of Alexandria. It gets destroyed and they're like, F you, this is the new history because we're the conquerors. Don't let them conquer you. Have the things in your possession.
Yeah, I have some out here, but most of them are in my office. But yeah, I thought it was really smart that Joe said he downloaded the whole, what was it, Gutenberg?
The Gutenberg Bible. Yeah, download.
No, not the Bible. I got a new Bible today.
Well, there you go. But have it in your hands.
I have 100-year-old.
Because that's your connection to history.
What's the library?
Gutenberg Press.
Is it the press?
Yeah, the Gutenberg Press, that's one of those companies out there, those entities out there that
Guggenheim.
It might be
Museum?
Guggen. No, the Guggenheim
Library?
Museum's different. The Gutenberg Press, I think.
Library.
The Guggenheim's where they have all the freaking tunnels, don't they?
I don't know.
Artwork.
There's a giant library, and he downloaded the entire library and put it on a hard drive.
Did Thomas Jefferson go to college? Yeah, I mean, did these founding fathers did go to college, or did they have libraries to where they could learn? They have access, to ancient texts. I mean, did they have access to these things, the written word? I mean, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at that point, you know, and I use the example of a steampunk world to where I want to go back to that, to where I'll take technology out of this, you know, this created now, but I'm going to extrapolate that onto, you know, like living in the dirt, you know, to where, you know, you get to a point to where you don't need technology, but you will utilize technology where it doesn't, you know, KYC you and AML you, and live accordingly around real people that produce things. I mean, it comes down to a world of production. Those people who have the assets and can produce those assets are the most important things going forward, I think.
Yeah.
And we have to focus on that, you know, quit falling into the illusion that everything's going to be okay and we're going to come out of it. We're not going to come out of it unless we allow ourselves to come out of it.
6 years. I watched one of the other promoted tweets I saw the other day was that an albatross, I don't know if it said when it was born.
Taylor Coleridge, you know, the rhyme of the ancient mariners, where the albatross analogy comes from. You carry that albatross around your neck. Oh. You know, you want to carry that around your neck or not?
So it can fly without landing for 6 years. And I was like, wait, how long have we been in this now?
Right.
And I was like, is that how long the Kraken's going to go, for 6 years? And then I was like, oh, hold on. Is that like 2 years into Trump's presidency publicly? And then we were in 3 years. Okay, are we 3 and 3? Are we close? Like, is that 6 years? Are we about to land? And then I thought about the silver. You know how Bic showed us the coin? And the new, you know, they retooled halfway through. Was that
2021? They had 2 series of American Eagles. They had the old school version of the Eagle, and then the second one they had the notch
landing.
They had the notch in the bottom of it, and I don't think
they changed the Eagle on that one.
And I don't think at that point, though, you know, and I got to look into that. You
and
know,
he's
some of your silver buffs out there
into the nest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. But here's the thing, though. I mean, they may be telegraphing it, but the thing is, I don't want anybody to telegraph anything. It's just like, I'm going to go out with the dogs. I'm going to go out and, you know, and utilize what I have right now to flourish, because I don't want anybody to save me. If I don't save myself, then I'm just depending upon somebody else. And so we all have to get to that point to where I'm not looking for a savior. You know, we are the saviors. I mean, at this point, we have to break free from the mental construct, the BS, the magic trick, the illusion that's been built up, and realize what the real things are. I mean, go out and watch the seasons change. Watch the trees, you know, drop their leaves and how it nourishes the soil and what that does. And, you know, plant that seed and do those things. You know, take a cutting. You want to freaking, you know, something to grow, take a cutting off this, plant it, you know. We've got to get back to the old ways. And if we don't do that, then we're going to be tied into this matrix, metaverse, NFT bullshit that really doesn't matter. That I mean, you know, that's great going forward, and that could solve things. But, you know, ultimately we have to live in a steampunk world to where, okay, that's great. I love that stuff. But I need to, you know, handshake, look in the eye. We're going to make it right? And that's what we have to do.
I'm with you. Maybe we stop coming home and asking the TV to tell us if today was an okay day.
Yeah. Did everything collapse today? I don't know.
Did everything happen today? Is it okay today?
Did everything fall apart? I don't know.
Is tomorrow going to be okay?
Get into a position to where you don't have to worry about it and you don't even know it happened.
Oh, what, Rice?
He said, how wonderful would that be?
My first comment. He's bossing me around. He's not even here. I love you, Rice. What do you?
I love the video earlier, Rice, and I mean, I love the pushback that you gave to Crypto Blood, and I'll tell you what, I resonate with Rice so much in that video because he had a statement towards, I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know if it's AI. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if anything's real anymore. And so that's where it comes back to what's real in you, what's real in your soul, what's real, what do you resonate with, and what are the real things that you're around every day that are going to sustain you going forward. If all of that means nothing, because it means nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing. It's just what means something here. I mean, if you're living in the city, I'm sorry. I really am, because I just don't. I had a dream the other night.
Some people are more equipped to live there. I mean, like, I understand, like, I think there are some people that is their element and that is their environment. Like, I don't think that all people are made the same. Like,
we're not.
Trust me. I mean, I've met people that, like, they do not adapt well to the country life and whatever. But at the same time, like, I also, like, I've been in environments where I do not, like, I'm a fish out of water in that situation, but they thrive in that. And they're like, that is their jive. And I think that's beautiful, because I think that is how we have a more healthy society, is that and that's what, I guess that's where I was trying to have that conversation of, like, we want all voices here. And everyone, we need to be able to be adults and have a conversation. Like, Rice is really great at that. I think JC is really good at mediating that, of, like, allowing conversations to come together and people to have a conversation in a room as adults. And then people may take different points of that. They may disagree, but respectfully. And then you may walk away. You may take pieces of somebody else's, thoughts or ideas. You may integrate some of that. You may challenge yourself. You may push back on it. You may push back on your own ideas. Whatever that is, a lot of that may change. It may validate some of your ideas, all of that. And I think that's really healthy, because that encourages critical thinking. And that's how we grow together as a society. But when we're all, like, one lockstep, only one thought is allowed, and you have to be politically correct, and we're only allowed to be, we're only allowed to be, anti-Semite speech, and politically correct talk and whatever, then that is just mindless and numbing. Charlie, will you let your dog out?
Your dog.
And then it'll catch up here in a minute, and then he'll let her out. And then it's just like, I don't know. We have to be able to have those conversations and respect one another enough to disagree in a healthy way, and not go to, like, animalistic, physical.
Yeah, you're wrong. I'm gonna go break
saying?
windows. I'm gonna go break shit. Because you're wrong. And
you're a weak person when you can't have a conversation and disagree with someone.
Right. And, so many times in my past, I'm like, you're wrong. You don't want to listen. I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to put the megaphone, in your face. And it's like, you're an idiot. You're wrong. I know I'm right. And, there are times that, maybe 10% of the time I'm not right. And, but 90% of the time I'm right, just because my own experience validates that I'm right. But, there are times
you are, and that's fine.
And it is. It absolutely is. And you know what? If you feel like you have no control over yourself, if you feel like you have no control over your life, then it is what it is. That's not why I'm here. I'm here for the people, to inspire people, to maybe awaken something in people, to help them understand that, there might be a better way. There might be a better way. I've found my path. I've found where I need to be. I've found what I need to do. And, it works for me. And I think it's a healthy thing. And here I am, quasi happy hour, New Year's Eve, 2023, drinking, God knows what I'm consuming, and smoking cigars. But it is what it is. But I cannot envision myself living in a city to where, I've got a, Chicago, 2 hours north of me, saying that, hey, to pacify people, we're going to give them, $500,000. Why not? All you people out there working, we're going to give you checks to make you feel better and think that you're included. And it's like, that's not helping people, though. That's just giving them, an artificial construct, an artificial reality to lift them up temporarily, to make them feel better. It's just no different than the Civil War. You've got a lot of people in the Civil War that say, hey, you know what? At least I'm a poor white guy that's better than a slave. Well, you're all losing. Who's benefiting? Who's benefiting from all this land? Who's benefiting from all these things? I mean, you're not benefiting from it. You're not living in the mansion. And it's just you've got to get to the point and realize that this is a world of abundance and that God has given us. And again, all you do is go to the store and find a hopefully you can find it, an organic piece of fruit. Take a seed out of it. That's all you got to do, and grow it. And look at the abundance that comes out of it. It's going to produce fruit that and vegetables more than you weigh. But you've got to have a place to where you can do that, and you see cities now plowing down public gardens because they don't want people going out there and producing their own stuff. And it's just like, where does this come from? Where does this evil, where does this tyranny come from? I mean, all this, the most magical thing on earth is dirt, black dirt. Go get some black dirt. That's kind of my message.
You can get red dirt in Oklahoma to build your houses. Clay.
You could, and you can make red dirt shirts in Hawaii, and it's a big money seller because, after Hurricane Iniki, on Kauai, you get red dirt shirts. It was a big thing that took off. But I mean, ultimately it comes down to don't starve to death.
Yeah.
That's where we're at, because they want to starve us to death. Find a way not to starve to death, find a way to survive, and realize the people that are trying to starve you to death, and realize that those are the people who are not your friends. I mean, they're going to give you all kinds of messages and say, hey, buy that electric car. We'll give you a lot of incentives that really, what are the incentives? Are they fresh fruits and vegetables? Are they, organic meat? No, they're going to give you like a tax credit, so that, you can make it in this new world that we've produced for you, this artificial reality. It's like, no, F that. I mean, take control of your future. And I mean, how many people in the city don't have a dream that says, I'd love to be able to produce the things that, but nobody taught me this in school. Nobody taught me how to defend myself. Nobody taught me that this is the way, the cops aren't coming, they're minutes away when, seconds count. It goes back to the fundamentals of the Constitution. It goes back to the fundamentals of people that came over here. And it's the fundamentals of, living on the land and understanding what the land is. It's not a concrete jungle, doesn't fix your problems. I mean, it just doesn't. And I wish it could, but, unfortunately, you have people that are going to enslave you and herd you into these camps and make 15-minute cities because that's where they're at. I mean,
do you think it'll go that far to prove
they're
to
going to
people?
take it as far as they can take it? And I mean, you see him doing it. You see Biden laughing on TV. It's like, hey, whoever counts the votes, that's what matters. It doesn't matter. We got to have people that count the votes. So listen to the people that count. That's tyranny at its highest form.
Man, I think I'm that little girl in the movie. What was it called? Where the world ends.
Leave the world behind.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Like I don't want to eat all the junk food or whatever, but like I'm just ready to like.
Right, I want to watch the last episode of Friends.
Yeah.
No, well, here you might be watching The Howling Part 1, on VHS.
Oh, I don't watch crap movies.
That kind of thing, because those are real things too. Those are the real things that are out there that you have to confront. Those are the things that people who came over here, when they first came over here, they were afraid of the woods, afraid of the forest. I mean, because there are things greater than you have any idea that are bigger threats than all the artificial threats that these people put in front of you. And you got to come to grips with that at a spiritual level. Where are we? Who are we? And it's going to take a hard look at ourselves in 2024 because everything's coming to a head.
No, Westwood, no. 23 is the good number, is the good guy's number. I'm done with this.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done.
I'd rather take my chances with a Sasquatch or a dog man at this point than, these people in DC.
I'm finished.
I mean, honestly.
I'm done. Enough.
Well, that's really what it comes down to. Enough. When have you had enough? When are you tired of saying I'm playing in the casino?
That I pulled.
When are you going to walk out?
A needle out of my head, like a
voodoo doll.
like I was only supposed to get so much of the injection or whatever. And like the number was going too high on the thing. And I was like, oh, and I pulled it out and I was like, oh gosh. I'm like, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm maxed out. I'm done. I've had my fun. Time to get off the ride. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't like roller coasters.
No, me either.
I don't like going.
I won't get. No, I don't do that.
I like to keep my feet on the ground.
Same.
Yeah, connect yourself to the things that you know you need to be connected to, and I mean that's really what it comes down to now. It's your choice. You can choose to continue to play. You can continue to live in an artificial reality, thinking that it's all going to work out. And I've talked to these people to where it always works out. Everything gets fixed. I mean, but are you happy? Are you free? Are you a human being? Or are you just like getting by? I don't know. All comes down to who you are.
Yeah, I want to be thriving and enjoying like the people and the energies that are in my life. And that's where I'm done being distracted by all the negative stuff. That's where.
All right. So what's positive in 2024? We're going to have April in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You're going to set that up.
Yeah.
And have a meetup, a fundraiser, a charity. I mean, for Mia, I mean, you're going to have those.
With the family's already decided. Well, we have to talk to the other family, but Mia and Cannon's, she was like, I guess you would call her a nanny, but she was really like more of like a family member. We called her Share Bear, but she's this precious, amazing lady. She's like, everyone loved her. And she recently passed away, and she had throat cancer or some kind of cancer, but she, amazing lady. Like, she just devoted her life to God and loving people, children. She is like the most loving. She loved food and feeding people. She was like, I mean, definitely like pivotal. God like put her in our life, of course, during the time of the divorce. Also, when Cannon was a baby, you know, he was tube fed for the first 2 or 2.5 years.
I'll be right back. Keep talking about that. I'll be right back.
And it was really, a lot of his therapy was like trying to get him, because when you tube feed a heart kid, like they don't care about eating. And then it's really hard to get them to want to eat. So then a lot of times they don't care. So then you have to tube feed them forever. And so she got him excited about eating food by giving him crazy things like kiwi. And I don't know, she took him to like weird, like, Israeli diners and like, not to be political right now, but anyway, she took him to like wild places and had him try like exciting food and whatever. And she was cook for him all the time and whatever. And she'd sing. And so at her funeral, this is like, she's the most darling. She's tiny. Like, I'm 5'2", and she came up to here on me. I think she's tiny, beautiful, big heart. She loved to hug everybody and sing songs, and she's always rescuing dogs and loving on people. And you guys know I hate all the bathroom talk. Like, I hate it. I just think that's private stuff, and we don't need to talk about it. And especially at the table, let's not talk about our private bathroom stuff. And I was laughing so hard because some of her family members wrote stories or whatever, and she made everyone sing a song at her funeral. And I think it was to torture most of us that are uncomfortable with some of her silliness. And so she would sing this song with the kids called Poop Banana. And so she'd go, poop banana, poop, poop banana. And I would always get so embarrassed. And I was like, why are you singing this? And why do you make my twins? So my twins would know that, like, that made me crazy. that she would make them sing this, and they would do this little dance. And so here we are all at the, I don't know if it was Episcopalian or some kind of beautiful big church, and we're all singing poop banana, poop, poop banana at her funeral. And I'm sure she thought that was hilarious. So I love Share Bear, and that is who we want to honor this year at the Team Mighty event. And Kiana's really excited about it, and Carly's really excited about it. And so I know Mia would be really excited about it. Mia loves Share Bear. Share Bear was like such a blessing to us with Mia. She really understood Mia's behaviors, and she was very loving with her and helped us, like when it was hard to get Mia on the bus and different things. Like she was just an angel to our family. And so we want to, she was really passionate about, she and her husband would go on these missions overseas. And so I don't know what their family wants to do or what they want the money to go to, but I'm guessing it's probably something to do with that. But we'll just wait and see what their family decides they want the money to go to in her name. So every year we find somebody that, we want the money to go to in their name, or, honor them or whatever, with Mia. So I'm excited about it because I think it'll be something really wonderful. What, babe?
I sent you a text from the Mexican Connection.
Oh, Charlie's sending me a connection or a text from the Mexican Connection to let me know if people in Mexico are really accepting. So I have to put on my glasses to read what it says. If people in Mexico are really accepting, thank you, Westwood. If people in Mexico are really accepting dollars or not.
Pesos instead of dollars?
Yes. So it says, hold on, let's see what it says. It's not good. Okay.
Yeah, that was the one dude that I can't remember his name.
Well, that was a video, but I think those might be contrived. So I'm like, hey, can you call our friend that works at a resort that you're actually friends with? Or can you message him? Because that's like a real person that we actually know. So it says, hola, amigo. Hola. I hear the US dollar is not preferred and the peso is better. Is this true? Hola, feliz año nueva. Well, the exchange rate is around 16 and 17 pesos for the dollar. So it's no good for everyone. For everyone. So he's not saying that they aren't taking it. Like, that is not very specific. I hate when people don't ask the exact question of what I'm asking, and they don't answer what I'm asking either. But that's annoying. But that's the same thing the guy said on the video of, as far as, the exchange rate is 16, 17 pesos. So he's not saying they're not taking it, but he is saying that's not good for everyone. So take that as you want.
It comes down to going forward. What are you going to accept as payment?
What do you want to accept?
What do you believe in?
How does that?
It goes back to the analogy of selling Sunday. I sell a Digibug. What am I going to take for payment? What will I take? I think we're getting into that world to where what will you take as payment? Because holy cow, how many trillions of dollars are going to get created this year? They've talked about this government, this artificial corporation we live in under is going to go, they're going to create $1 trillion more than they bring in, this year. They've already admitted that. So, are those dollars worth anything? What is it that you want to take from somebody face to face for a tangible asset? If you're growing food, if you're producing things, what do you want to take as payment? I think we're moving into that world, and a lot of people have called that out. A lot of people have talked about that, we may be living in that world to where, is the dollar the thing you want? That piece of paper, in your pocket that, you can just throw around. What is that really worth? It's up to you. I mean, do you put value into that, in those casino chips, or do you not? And it's really up to you. And you find like-minded people who say, you know what? Yeah, you're probably right. I really don't like those things. I want something that's different. And it may be gold, it may be silver, it may be crypto, whatever crypto you choose. But, make a choice is really what it comes down to. Don't think that, the end all be all is that thing that they create out of nothing that they control, and they can, the last 250 million went to Ukraine, and oh my gosh, they're not going to get their pensions anymore in Ukraine because, Congress has to act. Why do they have to act? Why are we allowing them to act? Why are we allowing them to do these things?
When they failed to act how many years before, and then we keep trusting them every year after. Why does it matter when they do or they don't the next time? Like at some point, like, what's the definition of insanity?
Yeah, let's keep doing the same thing. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. It's worked out so well.
It's worked out so well.
Yeah, we're doing so well. All of us are doing great.
I tried to screenshot that on eBay when I post, and it says times of or age of item or whatever, and it said American Empire.
Yeah,
and I tweeted it out.
Right.
Because and I was like, hey, has anyone heard of American Empire before?
Yeah. That was from the American Empire. In that period, that period of history, okay. So usually that's after it's gone, it's called the American Empire.
I think that will be the age of Pyrex, Hull, like this stuff that I'm collecting now, the antiques, the
tangible things, real things,
the vintage.
What are the real things that you need in your possession right now to get through? And you got to ask yourself, what are the things that I need right now to get through? Put yourself in possession of those things, control those things, whether it be, solar panels, generators, gasoline,
no, it's
diesel,
not solar panels.
Whatever it is,
batteries and all that.
You've got to have those things: water, fresh water, heirloom seeds. Dirt to plant those in. Water to nourish it, because the stuff that comes out of the sky, you better filter it. Otherwise, you're going to have all kinds of chemicals.
A UV light.
Yeah, get a UV light. I know people that have UV lights in their home to where everything that, the rainwater catchments, they go into the cistern and they UV light it to where all that, stuff dies. And, but then again, it doesn't have the minerals that come out of the earth,
That's true.
But it's still, it's just, you've got to think about all
the minerals, does it?
Well, no, it doesn't. But if you're catching rainwater, it really doesn't have minerals in it. It takes out all the bad stuff. But if it comes out of the ground, you got to think, okay, just like right now I have a well, but I'm surrounded by farmland, that's, what's sprayed on that farmland that goes in the groundwater, and I filter it out, and hopefully I can get all that out and still maintain the minerals, that are in the water. But if you're living in the city, recycling toilet water, you get all the pharmaceuticals into it, and they're not taking that out. They want you to be a drug society. They've done that since the 1950s. They got fluoride in the water. Oh, that's good for you. It's healthy. It's nourishment. Even though it's got a skull and crossbones on it, and you got to wear, a gas mask to pour it in the water supply. At some point, you got to question what you're doing at an individual level. If you're a worker bee, and say, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. At an individual level, you have to realize, the battle that you're fighting, and I don't care if you think you're just a small fish in the whole thing and I'm just following orders, but, as simple as pouring a bag of fluoride in the water supply, you got to question what you're doing. Maybe that's not right. Maybe I need to go to the town council and make a noise. Maybe I got to get some people to come with me and, and fight against this system. And say, no, this is not right. We shouldn't be doing this. Why are we doing this? Oh, I don't know. We've always done this. Well, now's the time to question everything that we've always done, just because that's what we've always done. And
or if a big truck drives up with hazard symbols on it and chemical protocol, and they're going to dump that in the water, maybe you should take a picture of that and send that to somebody.
Or if we have a train wreck, in Eastern Ohio, and the governor doesn't
Palestine.
show up. Yeah, and then he, goes ahead and says, well, it's okay for boys to compete with girls, I mean, we're
And
living
it's
in a
fine for you to
world.
drink it, but look what's happening in the water. Yeah.
Yeah, we're living in a world of madness, and
It
it's up to
is.
us to either not participate in it and not give it energy. And that's really what it comes down to. If, we're not watching the football game tonight because we're here on a live stream, are we going to contribute to the NFL? Are we going to contribute to these things, the bread and circus, or are we not? It's up to us. What are we going to give our attention to? What are we going to give our time to, our energy to? And we have to, every step of the way, everything we do every day, every time you take a fiat dollar out of your pocket, every time you make a decision to transfer some sort of energy, even though it's a leaky battery being fiat, anytime you do that, you've got to ask yourself, is this a productive thing for humanity? And it comes down to, because that's the battle. That's what it comes down to. We are either with humanity or we are for, Terminator society.
Mm-hmm.
That's really where we're at. And, there's a lot of people that praise Elon Musk. There's a lot of people that praise certain people that might be doing some things on the surface, but, are you going to take the neuroplant and implant? Are you going to take that? I mean, there's good and there's bad, and it's just this obfuscated world that we're moving into, and you got to ask yourself, is that good for me and my family? Is that good for me personally? Is that good for humanity? And so you make decisions, and then you think, well, it might keep me alive 5 years longer, but well, is it worth staying alive 5 years longer if you're polluting the entire human DNA, whatever it is, you got to make that decision and understand that, and at an individual level, make the right decisions based on your personal, resonance, who you are and what you're here for. That's all I can say.
Exciting because we're at this time where we can make these choices.
Absolutely. Make the choices while you can, because at some point you're not going to have them.
Pretty dramatic choices right now in your life where you could, depending on, some people have younger children and you have different, but even that gives you opportunities. Like you can homeschool or you can make drastic choices. Like when people say, I can't, because that's really a cop-out. Even having, whatever that relationship is, that's something to evaluate and say, like, well, why am I saying no to that? And is that then an opportunity to change that relationship or to evaluate that relationship or connection or whatever? And then is that an unhealthy situation? Because like if something's holding you back from a free life, what are you doing right there?
Yeah.
Is that a cop out, or is that, what are you doing there? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what good to evil is. I mean, you got to define that for yourself. Is there good? Is there evil? We've had that discussion before. I mean, is it just is it a lesson on this path? But I mean, you got to think, do I feel good about it? Do I think it's right, or do I think that's not right? And make that decision individually. And if enough people make that decision individually, and we all come to a kind of the same consensus going forward, that changes everything. I mean, we're not just saying, okay, yep, I'm just following orders. Yes, I'm done with following orders. We got to stop following orders. Follow what your truth is. And if enough people do that, I have faith in humanity that we'll make the right decisions as human beings. And if we don't, then, it is what it is, I guess. But, don't be that person that lives a life of regret and, regrets your decisions at the end of the day when you could have done something differently. Don't be that person.
Yeah. I did hear, and I don't know if it was like a Freudian slip with the Jean-Claude. He said, Janine said on her card, she said 7 days and then she said, no, it'll be like 7 weeks. And then they kept going to like mid-February. And I guess there's some data around Uncle Cliff's like February 18th. And then some people are saying February 10th. And there's some information around there or something. But there's been times before where she said that, but it was days and not weeks. And it was like 7 to 10 days and not weeks. And then he did it twice on the video where he was like, well, so we're going into this January 7th, 1st through the 7th. And he's like, I mean, into the 7th week or something, like and he corrected himself. And I don't know if it was like I said, like Freudian slip, or if something was said and then he slipped and leaked it, or if it was a human leak or what. Or if it's just, all of us having kind of this energy that we're wanting something to happen, if we're willing something to happen, can humans will something to like happen
Absolutely.
sooner?
Absolutely.
Then if we're like, okay, we're done messing around. Maybe it was supposed to happen in 7 weeks, but we're all like,
yeah, that's it. I'm done. Let's manifest this now, and let's correct it. And I think, all the power comes from us.
Something like that happen where it happens.
Why do you think they try and hijack all our energy? Why do you think they try and divert us and make us think certain things? Yeah. Because we're the ones with the batteries. I mean, we are the batteries. We are the energy. And so it's really up to us to say, okay, not paying attention, and this is what needs to happen. And if we can focus on that, I mean, there's experiments going back to, if you listen to Art Bell back when he was alive on Coast to Coast AM, back in the 90s, to where you have hurricanes. And it's like, all right, everybody concentrate, let's steer the hurricane. And I mean, there's examples of where that happens. And it's just because we are the consciousness. I mean, we are the energy. We create, and manifest the reality we want to see. And unfortunately, we've been in a slumber and mind controlled and allowed, a reality to occur that I don't think we all agree with. So change it at an individual level, a grassroots level, and keep changing it and make it so.
I read I don't know if when I was doing research on like stuff for the twins or if it was woo-woo stuff, but I was reading, maybe it was my stuff on Ben Carson. Anyway, I was reading some old, like really old medical, like JAMA stuff, like Journal of American Medicine stuff. And they used to, this sounds crazy, but it's in like old medical journals that they used to have the nurses pray during surgery to stop the blood flow during heart surgery. And it would stop the blood flow on patients so they could do whatever surgeries. And then they would pray again and it would restart the blood flow, because like then they would have like 4 or 5, however many nurses around the patient and their hands on the patient's body, and it would stop the blood flow. Like that's how they would control the blood flow of a patient.
Why wouldn't it? I mean, you got people out there practicing occult on certain dates, and coming together and, trying to manifest something. And so, if 2 people come together and pray and, have concerted effort, and put their energy into it, why could that not happen? Why can't miracles happen? I mean,
that was just science back then.
Yeah, that's what they did.
And now they're like, oh, they don't want you to know that. So, okay, so this is the whole conversation.
Take the prick, it'll fix you. Yeah, it'll take care of you while we make massive profits. Yeah, it's all good. But
this is the whole conversation that Bruce Lipton was saying. I wanted you to watch that video. And there's several people, not just Bruce Lipton, several people. And Cliff's trying to say this. The universe is trying to get this message out. The guy that left Disney that's trying to put these new videos out about Greek mythology or whatever. They're trying to get people to understand that the bad guys they understand that by controlling knowledge and also engaging morality around knowledge, and having you question morality and withholding knowledge is the ultimate way to enslave people and control them and have control and have a slavery system. And they've perfected this to the point where they have
it's science. Trust the science, Lisa.
And
science is the religion.
And science is the new religion to question morality, have you question your morality. They don't question theirs. And so they've perfected this. And this is like the new way to enslave the whole world. And so anyway, this is where I'm like, I just want to scream this. This is where it was like they did it through religion. Now science is the new religion to have you doubt your morality, political correctness and morality, and you're not allowed to question the science. And they withhold the knowledge, and you question your morality. You're not allowed to question the science. This is the age-old story. Like this.
I agree with that. Let me hop out. Let me hop out and come back in real quick.
Okay.
Let me in.
Hop out, come back in. I can still see you. Oh, wait. Are you coming back? I think he's coming back. Hold on. Hey, I think Rice is still here. Excuse me, guys. Oh, I gotta get my glasses on. And I need a refill of a drink. We need to take the life back out of the vampire casino. Yes, we do, Rice. We have to create a parallel system. Quit relying on a savior. Yes. We rely on ourselves and each other. Yes. When enough people take a stand. Yes, Rice. And it takes community. You're right, Rice. Nothing can stand against we the people. Yes. Ice makes us capable to be revived. I'm not sure, Flav, but I'm with you, especially if it's with Tito's and Stevia. Crypto, it comes so close to me right over Toledo, Ohio. Oh, wait, I see a Westwood. My brother just asked me what I'm listening to. Aw, Warrior, we love you too. I was just catching up and reading some of the comments. Really hope it isn't cloudy on April. Oh, I'm excited about the sister crossover thing. It looks like it's gonna come close to you and me. Like it's gonna be in Beavers Bend, Oklahoma, and somewhere in Arkansas and Illinois.
Yeah, that whole thing, that eclipse. I mean, there's a lot that you can get into on that. What that means. The last eclipse, what was it, 2017? You look at the track of that. You look at the track of this one. There's an X. It's like in southern Illinois, and I thought about traveling there. To that exact point. Where it they intersect. Years past. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. A lot of ancient cultures, they believe in those eclipses and what they mean. And, we have more technology to know where those things cross.
I'm listening. I'm going to turn up the volume.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I need a drink too. But go ahead and get your drink. No, it's just an interesting thing to me to where if you look at the map and where these eclipses, the path of them cross, and it's like somewhere in southern Illinois, to where the old, the one that crossed, I think 2017, and the one that's crossing in 2024, where they intersect. Is there something to that? There's a lot in southern Illinois. They call it Little Egypt. There's a lot of artifacts down there. Three Rivers Cross. I've been there. It's just something to think about. I don't know, but these eclipses are important things. I mean, a lot of people looked at those in the past and said they foretold things. And we've got one coming up in April, 4 months from now. So we'll see. A lot of things are happening. We're very crypto focused, and it's hard to say what what's going to happen, but I think that a lot of this is pre-planned. I don't want to say preordained, and I think the powers that be use the cycles to their advantage, and so I would not be surprised if it allows them to enter a different period, and they might want to usher us into a period of whatever it is they want to call it. But I mean, I really don't, even though they want to do that, and even though they can make things happen because of the power that they have and the control systems that they have in place, I think that humanity, being the vast body of people, if we can just decide not to participate in their beast system, in their pre-planned agenda, we can derail that. I mean, you think about it, all these people that supposedly control the world, your BlackRocks, your Queen of England, whoever it is, all these people who've been around for a long time and been, handed the torch to rule in their time. I mean, they're very weak people. I mean, they really are. They are not, I mean, look at all of them. They're very, they use the mind control, the magic tricks. They use all the tools at their disposal that they've created to make us continue to be slaves to fulfill their will. And at what point do we just say enough is enough? And we're just not playing the game anymore. And that's really all it is. It's just a big game. It's I don't know, you just get to a point to where it just doesn't matter anymore, and you don't worry about it anymore, and you just kind of disconnect from it. And I think that's what we have to do as human beings. And this is a good time to really think about that, because, here we are on their timeline. It's the end of the year. Oh my gosh, what's your New Year's resolution? That kind of thing. But use that as an opportunity to think, where do you want to be? Do I want to continue to participate and keep playing in the casino, keep walking in and playing the same old game, keep playing the same, frustrating game of self-doubt of, oh my gosh, I might get rich. Here we are, Mega Millions, $800 million. Then you walk away with $300 million. Well, who got the $500 million? These vampires got the $500 million. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to sell off all your resources. I mean, you look at a situation like Chicago. I've talked about it many times, to where you put money in the parking meter and you think it's going to, help people in Chicago, this and that. No, it's going to Saudi Arabia, or it's going to the Middle East, I should say. There are people who've sold that out. They've sold out our country. They've sold out our resources. They've sold out all the income generation things, and then they just walk away. Richard Daley did that. And, they're very popular, son of, the mayor, Richard Daley Jr. did that. And they do it time and time again. There's an interstate up there in Chicago, a tollway that we built, we paid for, and it goes to fund the Canadian pension system. I mean, at what point do all the resources and all the energy that we put into it, do we realize that, hey, wait a minute, these people have sold us out. So why are we continuing to serve these vampires? Why do we allow them to walk into a restaurant? We serve them at the high dollar restaurants and give them everything that they want. I mean, why are we serving these people? I mean, they're not serving us. They've sold us out. And I guess I don't know, at what point we come to that awareness that they're not looking out for our best interests, even though they pander to it and they say all the right things. But what do? And what do is they just enslave us through an artificial reality of a monetary system that they created. It's been going on for 110 years. And it's fake. It's just absolutely fake, because in your own reality, you don't deal with that. You don't need to deal with that. And it goes back to, again, a look in the eye and a handshake is really all you need. I mean, Do we need their energy? Do we need, what they give us, or is what we produce enough? Is the look in the eye and the handshake and the, knowing that your neighbor is going to be there enough?
Well, and at what point do we stop, complying to the bully? Stop.
Yeah, and that's it. At what point do you just say smack the bully in the face, and then they walk away because, they, that's all they have going for them is the threat of being a bully. And when somebody knocks them down, okay, I'm your best friend now. Okay.
Well, think about the bots, and I keep going back to when I have those conversations, with so much of this is a paper lion. So much of this is a myth.
It's a cardboard cutout, a movie set, that's the Western scenes where you got the frontage and then there's nothing behind it. And then once you realize that there's
we don't even have this many people in America that we are told. The census numbers are a lie, which is how they manipulate and control the districts and how they manipulate and control their seats of power. So much of this is a lie. And that's where the bots come in. I really thought Elon was going to come in and clean up the bots, which was going to expose the census. Like that was oh, come on. And then he failed on that.
Yeah, but Elon's a billionaire and he gets all his money from the government and he's pushing Neuralink and, and it's like, it's just all part of the show. Yeah, it's just all part of the the light to Lucifer, is it? I mean, I don't know.
And it's, no one's a savior. And it's also part of showing that all of it is created by the farm and whatever. And that you have to choose to opt out.
Yeah, and that's it. It's like anything. It's like you've talked about before. I think the alien invasion is the fact that we're all going to say, hey, we're all aliens. We don't participate in the corporation anymore.
Yes.
I mean, and until you say that, okay, I'm kind of done with this shit. I'm kind of, this doesn't work for me. And so I'm not going to participate anymore. And I mean, when you get to that point, and what are they going to do to you? Are they going to bring the armed forces in, and Waco your ass? I mean, and
look at the Amish community.
And if they do, who cares? I mean, honestly, who cares?
Look at the Amish community. The Amish community tells them this every day of their life, every year of their life. They tell them, I am not part of you. They live here on this land.
Yeah.
They tell them, I am not part of that. They do not vaccinate.
And here's the thing: they make decisions, but there are certain ones that say, "Hey, I'm going to still pay my taxes," just because they understand that they're working in a mafia situation to where, okay, I can still run my business and do my things, and I got to render under Caesar that which is Caesar's, all that BS, which is all garbage. But they still do that because it's under the threat of, well, I mean, I guess we'll comply with that just because, might makes right and they might come with guns and tanks. I mean, at some point, you've got to realize who's coming with the guns and tanks. Those are the people's hearts and minds we need to change. It's that brutality. It's that thinking that, who are you killing people for?
The government.
I mean, who are you blowing people up for? Is it for your own benefit? Is it for the benefit of your neighbor? Is it for humanity? Or is it because you're following orders? Because, America. You know what I mean? I mean, we've got to break free from all this. And I'm hoping that, all this comes, and maybe it takes an alien invasion, or something. But, I don't, it doesn't need to take that. It just needs to take that. This is not the way it used to be. We said no to a tyrannical force, some fat piece of shit sitting on a throne that just took taxes and took things because. And, we've got to have that spirit of, okay, enough. I'm just done with this. You're not owed anything. I don't owe you my soul. I don't owe you a piece of my soul.
You're in breach of contract.
Yeah. I mean, I'm done.
You're in breach of contract. The Fed is in breach of contract with the states. Each state needs to tell them, F off. You're in breach of contract.
And they should. They should. But here's the problem with that is that there's so many people that are willing to continue to play in the vampire casino. Think of Florida. That's a perfect example. Where that's a state that has a strong governor that wants to be president for some reason. I have no idea why. I don't think he can change anything. But, you've got a strong governor in Florida. Why not say, I'm done? We're not playing the game anymore. We're going to be independent. We've got a great economy. But the problem is you got a bunch of old people there wanting their Social Security.
That's why. They have a bunch of old people who need Social Security. And
because they're still playing in the casino.
Yes.
I mean, and that's it. You've got to get to the point where it's like, F it. I don't care anymore. And, everybody that has their property down there, the governor should say, hey, you own it. Nobody can take it away. No sheriff's going to come take it. I don't care if you owe any money on it. Doesn't matter. You got it. It's yours. Allodial title. Boom. Y'all got it. And okay, well, if you got your land, how much money do you need? And it's just, you've got to break the mindset of just indoctrinated control of, oh, well, they're still paying me something. They're paying you in fake money that they create out of nothing. That's your Social Security.
They're stealing from you on the backside.
It's a joke. I mean, at what point do we just say enough? We're done. It doesn't matter anymore. What are you going to do? You're going to send the freaking full, military down here and kill your grandparents?
Well, and then partner with a state that has the balance of your weaknesses. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Figure out some strengths and weaknesses. Like, I'm wondering if Louisiana, or no, who's next to? Is
Georgia, South Carolina? I mean, and build a coalition.
Alabama,
but that's what they want. See, they want us to get to that point where we become like the Civil War, and that's what they're doing. Hey, Trump's not on the ballot in Colorado. I don't care about Trump. But the fact is, what they're doing is putting you into that position to where it's like, hey, we're going to take your rights away to vote. We want you to get into civil war. And so they've got all these technological tools now to where it's like, oh, boom, we'll shut off your internet. We'll EMP your ass. We'll do all these things. But who's doing that? Who's pulling the trigger? I mean, who are the people who are willing participants in this? I mean, we're at a crossroads to where we have to say no before it gets too far, and we are in a Terminator world, and where they send the drones in and they send the robots in and they do all these things. I mean, we have to make a stand now and say, that's it. We're just done. We're not feeding this beast system anymore. Otherwise, I mean, it'll get to that point where, you got robot dogs and drones showing up at your house and, robot bees that, just poison you. And it's just, I mean, that's where they're at right now. But, they've ushered us into this complacency to where, I mean, give me my Netflix. Give me my Social Security check.
I also
means nothing.
I'm curious about when.
Give me my artificial food on the truck. I mean, instead of like having the backyard garden in Florida where everything grows. Hello, pick it off a tree.
Yeah. There's the timing of this also, the Super Bowl is the largest human trafficking event. The U.S. is the number one destination for human trafficking in the world. A lot of people don't know that. The Oklahoma is the number 4 in the nation. I'm not sure about Florida. All these bowl games are coming up. I'm terrible. I know nothing about football, but I know all these bowl games are coming up, and like the Super Bowl is coming up pretty soon here. That's the other timing thing with Jean-Claude saying like
in February, probably right in the middle of the the dates that people are talking about.
January thing.
Yeah, February is the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like the first.
But tomorrow you've got the college bowls to where you've got the college football playoff starts tomorrow, and then a week later the champion is crowned. Whoever wins, and but you've got these people that come together, and they're looking for things, they're looking for goodies. They got all these people together. It's like, oh, here, you need to gamble, you need this, you need that. What do you need to set your hotel room? And everybody profits. It's just like going to war. It's like, hey, what do you need? Let's dislocate all these people and bring all the children over here. It's just like at the southern border. Hey, who cares who the parents are? It doesn't matter. We'll take all the kids and, just redistribute them. And it's just a redistribution of energy. And they don't know what they're getting into, and they're being deceived. And it's just this world of deception to where, and what are we doing about it? Well, hopefully, there's food on the shelf. I mean, I can't, I can go nuts about it.
Well, I can go nuts about it. I took my wedding ring off because I have been so grossed out about the whole diamond thing. I talked about it on Thursday. I talked about it on Friday. My husband's like, why aren't you wearing your wedding rings? I'm like, I took a bunch of links. I sent email to Bix and Uncle Cliff because I'm just so disturbed. I feel like I have expressed it very clearly to people. Maybe I haven't. I guess I didn't share the links when I did the videos. I probably shouldn't do it right now because it's like midnight and New Year's Eve. And hey, happy New Year's Eve. They're eating.
Yeah, we're getting close. Holy cow. We're like
children and turning them into diamonds. And you're wearing them, celebrating your weddings. But it's just, I don't know if that's happening, but like it's pretty, like I'm just very disturbed by all of it. So until I can figure that out, I have to find something else to do with my wedding ring. I need to just find like a gold band or just a silver band.
Go cut glass with it.
Yeah, I just have to like do something else because I just like couldn't even. I was up till 4:30. I couldn't sleep and very upset about the children.
I mean, that's just it. You know, the first, you know, what the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And that's what it comes down to. And so many people are unwilling to take that first step, even though they know something's wrong, because they're so invested in everything that's you know, that they're invested in. I mean, they're just invested in a system. It's like they're share owners in a casino, and it's like,
take it all. Who cares?
I don't want to lose my wealth, you know, in the stock market. You know,
walk away from it. Walk away from it all.
Right, and you'll be free. I mean, you will. You know, it's just like you'll own nothing and be happy, right? In the good way.
I would
rather than
connected to. Can you imagine living in a home that was provided for by children being sacrificed? Living, wearing something with pride, wearing something that's glamour from dead children.
And that's where the diamonds came from, though. I mean, you know, you had De Beers, you know, controlling the diamond market. And what did they do? They put it on Hollywood and said, hey, wear all these diamonds. We'll give you these diamonds for free. Wear them in movies and, you know, and create this illusion that it has value. And I mean, everything that we think has value does not have value. Win Lambo, you know, all these things. And it's just that, you know, again, it comes down to, in your real life, what has value to you and what gives you peace, what gives you happiness, what gives you solace. Those are the things that you want to pursue. And, you know, you've got to look inside. You've got to trust yourself. You've got to quit, you know, not believing in these illusionists, you know, these Vegas freaking magicians that are pulling tricks on you.
And I'm not saying this to shame anybody. Please.
No, it's just it's a reality.
An experience of like, it's just
awakening.
Like, I love children and I love families and I want bad people to go away, and I just like I want to do everything I can to protect children, and I want to do everything I can to help our country. I want to do everything I can to, and I want to be authentic. I want to, so I don't want to. And so it was just really bothering me as I was kind of like unpacking what's going on in Oklahoma and all these missing Indigenous women and children, and then watching what they found on Epstein Island, the crematorium things, and then watching the Kardashians brag about how they turned their grandmother into a diamond, and watching all these other, I mean, I have a whole thread of it on my Twitter, and it's very disturbing, and there's more and more information about it, and I don't know if it's accurate or right or wrong, and if it resonates with you, great. I'm still unpacking it myself, but for right now, like, I just can't wear it. And for right now, I want everyone to do their own research. And for right now, I just have to do something else.
Yeah, it's like going to the thrift store, you know, and going to these, you know, shops and, you know, estate sales that you go to, and you bring home Robert the doll. You know, what is the karma connected to these things? And, you know, I think at an internal level, we can discern that. You know, it's just like we discern that with people. And we have to get to that point where we have that primal, more than anything, I think going forward, that's where we need to be. We have that just primal instinct that this is not good. This just doesn't feel right. I mean, you have people, you know, we've done it, my wife and I, and she's more intuitive than I am. You know, we've gone into houses, she's like, nope. I'm like, what? Say, nope, this is bad. I mean, there's just no. And I'm like, okay, all right. And, you know, you got to trust your instincts. You trust yourself. I mean, because, you know, there are places that you go into. There are things that have attachment to them that have things that just don't work and aren't good. And I mean, there's a lot of that. You know, like dollar bills, you know, you think about it, what, 80% of them or something, you know, have cocaine attached to it, you know. Cocaine might be good for some people, but, you know, for other people, and you think, you know, okay, what was it used for? Was, you know, and you just, I don't know, you get to a point, and I think we have to get to that point individually, because so many big things are coming that you don't know what the truth is anymore from what they tell you and what you see. You have to be able to internalize it and know, and you know that already, because when you walk into a room and you meet people and you're just like, I just don't want to be around that person. I just don't like him. There's something about him I just don't like. And you go with that. And it's like everything else. And so we've got to be that way. We have to be our own receptors, and because that frequency, we're feeling it, and going forward, rather than depending upon someone else to tell us what is right, what is wrong, what is truth, what is fiction, what is evil, what is good. It doesn't matter. You know, it's what do you feel? And I think we just got to get in tune with that and really get to know what because, you know, we may have a blackout. We may not be able to depend on other people, you know, that we think we trust. And it's just, you know, we have to do that. And it's like, well, that's why I have dogs around, because they help me out. You know, they'll sense out the danger. But I mean, we all got to become dog-like, I guess, you know, and get that primordial instinct to, you know, what's right, what's wrong going forward, because it's going to be so hard to navigate, because everything is going to be fake. Everything's going to be AI. Everything, we are not going to know if it's real. Do you know if the president's real anymore? I mean, is he even alive? I mean, you know, who knows at this point? I mean, we've all had those questions. How this guy's walking dead, you know, and he's got the finger on the nuke button. I mean, no. I mean, I cannot do this. And so you've got to like walk through this journey, like go through the fire on your own and know what's truth and what isn't truth. And I think that's where we're at.
I think you're right. Are we going to stay up till midnight?
I don't know, man. It's getting real close. I can't believe it's like,
I can't believe like we've been
going and going.
It's like we've been at this way too long. Rice was on here for a while. I think he jumped off, but he would like to join us either next Friday or have us do a show with him.
Yeah.
Which would be fun.
It would be.
We haven't been.
Let's get into the illegal alien stuff. Let's get into breaking free. Let's get into a lot of the research he's done.
Ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and
I would love to talk more about that.
Yeah, what can we tangibly do to break free and isolate? I shouldn't say isolate, but break free. Exit the vampire casino.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit past the I don't know. I'm ready to not hold back on my journey anymore. About I'm ready to just be my.
I'm ready to build again. I'm ready to break free and rebuild. You know, from the the roots that are shooting up from the old tree. Let's build a new shoots from the roots.
To come along on that journey, I welcome that. And if somebody is threatened by that, I welcome you to step back from that, or whatever. I'm less interested at not being my whole authentic self. I'm just not interested in.
I think that's a good thing, and it's like you just tell your truth, and I mean, and it is what it is. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Find your own truth.
I think I think I have more to offer myself at being 100% myself than anybody else has to offer me at being less of myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it makes sense. I mean, it does, and
I feel like people try to get you to be less of yourself. Oh, but if you behave, then I have something to offer you. Well, you know what? Or I could just be 100% myself, and you can either like me for all of me, or then I'm not your girl, right?
Yep.
That's kind of how I feel.
Yep.
Either
I don't care.
Either I'm your girl or I'm not.
Like me for who I am, or see ya.
Because I'm kind of a lot, or I'm not, and I'm not good at being half of myself.
No.
So.
Nope, that's it. you know, and it's just like spew that truth out and let it spill out all over. And here we are, you know, it's whatever you want to call it, you know, the age of Aquarius, you know, the dumping of knowledge, the water bearer, you know, it's just pouring knowledge out. And that's really what it is. It's like, give me everything. Give me it all. I've always felt that way. I don't care if it's bad news. You know, you want the good news or the bad news? Give me the bad news.
It's just new. Well, and is it good or bad?
Right. Just give it to me.
Just
pour it on me, and I'll deal with it.
News.
I'll deal with it.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to do some good with that bad news.
Right. Well, we need to hide the aliens because the people can't handle it. We need to hide this truth because people can't handle it. And it's like, no, give it to me. I think I can handle it. I'll deal with it. You know, maybe I can't handle it right away, but I'll walk away and I'll think about it and I'll handle it. And, you know, we're not, life's too short to be, you know, controlled. Right. Thank you for, you know, protecting me, even though you're not.
No.
Yeah. And pay your taxes. We're looking out for you.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah. Or we're here for you.
Hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Hey, that's exactly what I was thinking, the Ronald Reagan thing.
Well, I think of it from, so my son, well, you know, the movie that I talk about this all the time, the Iron Giant.
Mm-hmm.
God, what was his name? I can't think of his name now.
Search it up while you can.
Search it up.
Search it up while it's still there.
Gosh, what is it? Iron.
You got to get the movie on the tapes, on the video.
I used to have all the videos.
All the box, you know, frayed cartons, you know, you put the VHS tape in.
Oh my gosh, Carly brought me the greatest thing.
It's going to be a thing.
She brought me Mia's. So when I moved out of my home that I raised my children with, Carly brought me Mia's. I didn't go in the attic because it was very chaotic and stuff when I left. And she brought me Mighty Mia's very first baby ornament. And it was just the sweetest thing. So sweet. But I used to have all the, you know, all the Disney crazy movies. But there was this one Iron Giant because my son Zach was very challenging to raise because he's very intelligent and very strong-willed. And so Iron, let me see if I can find me. Yeah, Giant.
Know that feeling.
I think it's Mansley. Something Mansley from the government. God, what is it? I'm gonna see if
Horace Mann.
Iron Giant from the government here to
search it up, girl. I need another drink. I guess.
Okay, go get him. Thing. Kent Mansley worked for the government.
Chip.
Kent Mansley worked for the government. Okay. Oh God, all the. I mean, there's so many ads you can't even watch the dang thing. Kent Mansley worked for the government. Where's the giant? Oh gosh. Wait a minute. That doesn't look like the right. No. It said here to help. That may not be right. And then Nyma's words. No, I think that's right. Okay, I'll see if I can find it. I think this is right, you guys. Oh, it's not showing you guys the screen. I'm sorry. Oh, it was showing the screen.
I'm just hoping I'm not on the Epstein list when it's released tomorrow.
Oh, come on, man.
I might leave the house. God forbid I get on a plane.
You don't get on planes. What are you trying to do?
It's a struggle. Struggle is real.
Work for the government?
That's all it's going to show. Kent Mansley worked for the government.
Oh, well, there you are.
That's not even it. What a terrible quote.
Happy New Year on the East Coast.
Hey there, Scout. Kent Mansley. I work for the government.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I work for the government. Bam. No.
The law of attraction healing. We could watch the Bruce Lipton one. That's good.
Now, there's something to that law of attraction. I mean, it really is. What you put out will come back. Love is the way, says Light Shadow. Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, that was the whole message of, from Jesus, right? Love is the way. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's a, you got to look at it that way. That solves a lot of problems. The world needs a lot of Jesus, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In all forms.
Pretty Home Companion. Mom. This is hysterical word. Look that one up. Oh my gosh. I think the door is leaking air. Hold on.
The door is leaking.
Yes, if you don't lock it, it has like a terrible seal and it's freezing. And it's cold.
It's cold out here. I got the screen door open. I don't have the big door open tonight. Gotta let the smoke get out a little bit at least.
I think I should go sit over there by my picture. I can't believe we got those pictures, and then that one said that.
What a score!
One thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so cool. Yeah.
No coincidences, Lisa. It's just as you go through life, you realize the older you get. I mean,
you get older.
The older I get.
Yes.
You in general, that's the thing about the Bible. When you read the Bible, they're saying you, and it's like there's different forms of you. Is it you, the person, you as a group?
What?
Yes. In this case, you being me.
Not me.
Now, the older I get, the more I realize, the more I struggle, the further behind I get. The more I let go, the easier life gets. If that makes sense.
I know, but it goes so fast. Like, I keep going back to my dad being 91. And, like, did you live your life? When you look back, did it go so fast? Or was it like, I couldn't wait to get here?
Yeah. You know what happens? And a lot of people say, man, time speeds up. Man, time's getting so much faster.
And it does,
And you know why it does, though? Because think about it. If you're 10 years old, you've got 10 years behind you. You've got so many days, in those 10 years, 365, times 10. And so that's your view. And then once it's 30 years, it's 3 times that. So, each day seems like it's you've seen so many more days that it seems like it speeds up because, you've got a larger time frame. And so if you're 100 years old, you've got 100 times 365, and it's like, holy cow, those days seem like they go so fast. So as you get older, those days seem like they're not as important, because they go by so much faster. They seem like they go by so much faster because you experience so many.
A day is at 90. Like how fast a day is at 90?
Yeah, I mean,
and the day is over. Like, I mean,
yeah. So find a way to slow that down. Slow that down, though. Quit getting caught up in the matrix. And find ways to slow yourself down. And there are ways to do that because you've had days. Yeah, you think about it. Okay, we did not used to have. I remember when we first got our first microwave. It was like 1980, 81, something like that. And Dad brings it home. It's like $1,000 microwave. I'm like, you paid $1,000 for a freaking microwave.
Your dad would never pay $1,000.
He did. So what's this do? What does this thing do? It's like, oh, it like cooks things faster. And so you got to turn the dial, and it's got a ding on it. It's not digital, nothing like that. And it's just. And then I think about, okay, so we're in such a hurry. It's like, oh, we got to get it done. We got to get it done. Okay, we got to get to this, got to get to that. And why do we have to get to all these things? Because we have more gadgets to deal with. And the more gadgets that we have, the more shit we got to fix. because, we got a car, we got a microwave, we got a TV, we got this, we got that, washing machine, then a dryer, all these things that go bad and they break. And okay, so now we need more money to fix these things. And because we have all these different objects in the home, and instead of, doing it the manual way, to where we actually had to have somebody in the home to like make dinner and cook it all day and do all these things. But now it's just like, immediate. And so we pay for that. We pay for it with our health. We have to go to the doctor now because, things get broken in our bodies because we're putting bad fuel into it, bad oil into it. And it's just that, this acceleration of things. And so, hey, we've got the fix though. We can like put a Neuralink, or we can take your brain and like, extrapolate it out of your head and connect it to a power, server, warehouse. And then you can live forever and have all these memories and do all these things that you want to do. We're just racing towards oblivion. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing instead of just, enjoying the natural life cycle of things and enjoying things as they are. And
you are just right.
The frickin' dogs over here happy on the couch, just relaxing. I mean, doing their thing. And look at their lifespan, 15 years maybe. And then they're happy.
Sweetest thing on X today or Twitter.
I did not see this, but I saw it, but I didn't listen to it. So go ahead and play it.
Make families great again. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to play this because everyone needs to watch this. So, and this is what I was talking about this. When was I talking? Maybe on my last. I haven't posted it yet on Mighty Merchants, but it made me think of this because we got this beautiful set of china, and I shouted out Polly P. But I was talking about when I had my babies at home and all my kids, like I always made dinner, and that was the thing. Like we didn't have cell phones and all that back then, but like we always had dinner, and there was no TV on and whatever, and it was like. And when we were fostering and whatever, sometimes it was awkward for the kids because they weren't used to that. And they were like, what the heck is this weird family? Why are they talking to each other and looking each other in the face? And
well, this is scary.
Yeah,
they're going to identify that I'm an alien now.
Yeah, sometimes it was scary for them. But that is really important for us because it was like, what's happening in your life? Everybody talked about what's happening in their life, and we ate together. Whatever the chaos was in the world. And I was like, you know what? I love, and maybe that's why I love like dishes and china, and a set of dishes is like have dinner together, like have one meal together. The family, like make families great again.
Yeah.
And so anyway, this is just the sweetest little thing. I just want to play this for you guys and make dads great again, make moms great again, make families great again. This is just the most precious little thing.
Never fails me. My little angel is there waiting for me before I even have a chance to pull in to the garage. I want to show you guys this.
I remember when my mom, she was a single mom,
She hears
we
that
would
garage
ride her
door
bike
open.
to the bus station, and she would get off the bus, and then we would follow her car home to try to be near her because we were like so excited to see my mom.
You guys see that? That's the reason why I don't give up. That I can't give up. Because I have people who love me, who care about me. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Look at that. This is what I come home to every single day. Hi, beautiful.
Hi.
I love you.
That's America.
No, that's humanity. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. And what do they want to take away? They want to take away that innocence and that love. And so they hit them at the youth level, indoctrinate them at the school level, and
tell
Hitler
them
Youth.
parents don't love them.
Yes, absolutely. You can do what you want to do, even though you don't have the ability to make decisions. You're empowered at age 10. You know, you can do whatever you want with yourself. You know, it's your body, your choice, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's like, wait a minute. You can't even make decisions. Think about your own self back at that age. And it's like, I'm glad I had somebody to, you know, tell me not to do certain things. And yeah, I did certain things I shouldn't have, you know, sticking butter knives into light sockets, that kind of thing, you know, and you learn the hard way. Right. But it's just, I mean, but that's important. I mean, you know, and so many people don't have that. So many people don't have that just, you know, that grounding, you know. They got external forces.
And it's just so precious.
And it is. And I mean, it's like that's the intangible thing that you can never replicate with a replicator, that you can never replicate with a robot, that you can never, the hugs. That's why it's so important. I mean, having that energy, just that intangible, you know, that touch and just that, you know, you can't program that in AI.
He does not owe her anything, and she does not owe him anything.
No, and it's just like, I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
Genuine, like it's just, oh my gosh. I mean,
and we're gonna go on the one side of the pendulum so far. You know, I can look at the darkness, and you know, but I see the light, because you know, when I see the darkness, I know there's going to be light. But we're going to go so far on the pendulum one way to where we have, and we talked about in spaces, not hashing out. We talked about in spaces to where I believe we're going to go so far one way to where, all my needs can be satisfied. I can have a drug, and I can have a Neuralink. I can have all this, you know, artificial reality. I can live in my home and never have to leave and have all the experiences. Why do I need to leave? But you can't you'll never have that intangible thing that just happened right there with all the technology. And some people think they're going to be able to chase it and get it, you know, whatever it is, you know, whatever level of pleasure, stimulation, you know, that, you know, scientifically trust the science that these crazy freaking Nazi doctors think that they can put on us and give us by, all it takes is this stimulation in the brain, and you know, and you'll have all the needs that you know, it's going to be the same thing. No, it's not the same thing, and it won't be the same thing. And going forward, there's going to be that remnant of humanity that, and then even the people that have gone so far to that pendulum the one way, it will swing back the other way, because and this is why they hate us. And I mean, and this is all biblical, you know, this is all, you know, and all kinds of different religions. This is why they hate us, because we're human, and they can't replicate it. And they can deceive us as much as they want and think they're going to give us all the glory and all the power and all these things. But there's still that lacking. There's that empty void. That's just the intangible fact of that hug and somebody just loving to see you, that they can't replicate that. Yeah, I mean, it's just that humanity of just like that vibe, that love, that energy that they can never tap into that frequency, and they can never replicate it. And so that's what gives me hope, as dark as it will become, because so many people will buy into it. I know that on the other side of it, you know, that pendulum swings the other way, and it just evaporates all the bullshit that they create.
Yeah. No, I love it.
There's always going to be that, because we're human. And they don't like us because we're human, because they're dark entities and they're, you know, reptilians, whatever the frick they are. I don't know what they are, but they're not human. They're vampires. They're not human.
Yeah, I don't even know at this point.
I don't know what they are. Define it how you will.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know that
they're you
anymore. Like, yeah. I don't know. I just know I don't engage with them. So
I just know that if it gets to the point when Light Queen Lisa wants to celebrate a birthday and she wants to come here because she loves to be around human beings and real people, it's not AI, that, you know, that right there tells you that, you know, there's hope for humanity.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's really what it's all about. It's about being around real people.
Yeah. We've celebrated our anniversary, my birthday. What else? We've done a lot of things. Like, it's been pretty much like the place to be.
And we're gonna go to Westwood. We'll see Westwood.
Yeah.
We'll go see all my friends.
Default, you know. Hey, I don't have to pass through like one of those things that changes my DNA or sprays some kind of chemical.
No, you show up. Yeah. You know, the dog might jump on you, but you know.
Oh, I don't even mind.
Minor price to pay.
We love the dog jumping. I get to hang out with your mom, which I love.
Real people.
Yes, and your dad and I get to argue about things. So I love your dad.
That's the way
I
it
get
is.
to hang out with Uncle Steve.
Yes, get to hang out with Uncle Steve.
And he drives me in really fast cars, which
always a fast car.
Makes me scream in his fast cars. That's always fun. Yeah. And then mom will like take us out in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Like we always have a great time with him.
Real stuff.
And the rest of the fam, which I will not mention, some of my other favorite very short people live there too.
Shorties.
All the shorties.
All the shorties and all the
Yes.
memories that are created.
They're very talented, yes. Which I forgot. I need to text her about a piece of artwork that I wanted to see if she would recreate or help me or see if I could buy one of her pieces of artwork. There's a ship that I saw one time that she made. I was going to see if she would recreate one of those for me.
My daughters are great artists. They really are. And to me, I am like,
they're both really talented.
I don't care if you never work. I mean, I really don't. If you're following your dream, and if you want to, that's what I've always said. If you want to be an artist, I will support you. I mean, you don't need to do anything else. I mean, I want you to follow your path and do what you want to do. And if you can create, I mean, because to me, you know, I'm kind of a selfish thing because I mean, I know art is like the ultimate pinnacle of humanity. If it's like we started the conversation to where it's like
writing is too.
That is art.
That's.
I mean, that is the outward expression of an inner belief. And if you can express that in some way, whether it's through painting, whether it's through pictures, photography, writing, whatever it is, it doesn't matter because that is where I think we need to be. And we've talked about this before to where what exists after money's gone. I mean, if money doesn't matter anymore and say we're free and whatever, it's not universal basic income shit. You know, if we're free and money doesn't matter and we have what we need, we have replicators and we can replicate food, grow food, whatever. You know, if we have that and we're in a state of harmony to where, you know, we're not controlled anymore. I mean, what are the things that are going to like make us, you know, I don't know, in a vulgar term, get off, you know, what's going to get us, you know, make us feel human? And it's going to be art. I mean, that's really what it is. That's the highest pinnacle of civilization.
Think about the creative. What's our growth?
Right. That's the juice. I mean, that's the energy. Yeah. And you know, and it might be a hug to where you're like, okay, I feel you. But
that was my conversation. Is like, what the F are we doing here? Like, when you turn back at 90 and life is going so fast, like, oh, what was I doing here? Like, did I do my thing? Like, did I do the thing? Was I learning? Did I waste my life? Like, did I do the thing? Like, what are you doing here? Did you do the thing? What are you spending your time on? And that's, to me, it's learning, it's growing, it's sharing love. It's
basically releasing your soul
and
so that other people can connect to it and realize, you know, who you are inside and what your truth is and what the truth you bring to humanity. If you can get that out and put that in another form that persists forever, and that's why we build statues. That's why we paint art in the Sistine Chapel. That's why we do all these things, because
is the forever.
And that's it. If you can make that persist, it's just like, I'm a literature guy. I mean, and I totally resonate with this stuff, and that's where I come from, is because I can live through the past. I'm immortal by being able to read, you know, Aristophanes' plays. I can, you know, listen, you know, read Homer. I can read all these things that the Greeks wrote. I can read, you know, all these things that have been written throughout time, because they are expressing a truth that is timeless. And I can experience that by picking up a freaking book. You know, ink on paper, and I can read that, and I mean, it transforms my soul. It makes me think differently. It awakens something in me to where I'm like, well, this is magic. I mean, this is an amazing thing. And I mean, imagine a world where we have somebody mentioned that in the chat, 451. Imagine a Ray Bradbury novel for Fahrenheit 451, where we burn books because they're bad. And I mean, that's a horrific existence for me, because I mean, you're taking away somebody's, legacy, their soul, their existence that they put out for other people to benefit from, good or bad, doesn't matter. But I mean, that is what made me who I am. That's why, I did the things I did, and why I went to college for the things I went to college for, because I mean, I can live vicariously, immortally through all of these other people's writings, their knowledge, their truth, and I can absorb that. I can, disregard that, whatever it is. I mean, I look at a guy like Edgar Allan Poe, an amazing writer, completely effed up. I mean, a guy that was laudanum, a drug addict, died at like 40 years old. Wow. But what he put out, I mean, what he wrote was something that, really touches humanity in a certain way and teaches you some truths. I mean, if those didn't exist, I mean, what loss to humanity is that? And it's just that, to me, art is the highest form of spirituality. I mean, it really is.
I think it is a great tragedy for us to, political correctness is a great tragedy, because when we silence the voices of the racist, that is dangerous. That is a dangerous environment.
Right. Why are you tearing down statues of people who are racist? Mm-hmm. We got a $20 bill that has Andrew Jackson, who's a racist, but you know what? He hated the central bank. I mean, so there's good and there's bad. Humanity is a mixture of good and evil. And so you've got to be able to pick through and discern what is good, what is evil, what resonates, what is something that you can, again, trust yourself. What is something that resonates with your soul that you can take with you? And so to deny someone of that, just like denying people from voting for Trump,
right.
Just like denying people their ability to express themselves is evil. I mean, it really is. That is an intentional, disruption of your free will. And to me, that's evil, because God gave us free will. And we have the ability to make our own decisions and see the light, see the darkness, and follow our own path. I mean, and so that right there, the intent to deny someone their ability to make decisions for themselves, and hide the truth is evil. I mean, it really is. And there are people like that. And you can call it what it is. You can call it Satan, call it whatever, the darkness, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But the fact that someone wants to, deny your free will is an evil act. Mm-hmm. And I'm all about, these people that, write all this stuff, and it's corrupt, and, whatever you want to call it, you put, banning books, burning books. I'm pretty much wide open. Let it be out there. But the thing is, we have to have discernment as parents.
Yeah.
And, we have to kind of guide, that's what families are all about, but if you start denying that stuff and start burning that stuff, put the evil out there, because, if we will see it for what it is, let the idiots be idiots, and we'll see them as idiots. And it's just like, you can't ban stuff. I mean, you got to put it out there and let it be. And we'll figure it out. It's up to us on our individual journey. And, we help people to get along that as children, but when you get to a certain point, you make the decision. You can deny it, you can accept it, whatever it is. But I would rather have all of the information in my face and make the decision on my own, rather than somebody lie to me, and deny it and scrub it from history. Give me it all.
That's how children are most safe as well, is in a transparent society. So if we, you have to use judgment and all that with how you deliver the information.
Yeah, because, if you're 10 years old, how many decisions, legitimate decisions can you make?
Right. They don't making
the
decisions necessarily. At some point, we need supervision, but at the same time, they need to know there is danger out there, and we
absolutely
don't need to make the danger all go away and it never happened.
No, because if you take it away, then they have no idea how to live.
Yeah,
it's like me putting the freaking knife in the freaking socket. It's like, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have learned.
Right.
There has to be some pain and punishment.
People say, "Oh no, no one ever got electrocuted by sockets.
Oh no, don't ever, no. It doesn't exist. You can't die by putting your hand on the frickin' stove.
Yeah.
You can't burn your hand up. Don't, it's fine.
That is dangerous to people. So that's what, like,
hey, you go in the woods and nothing's gonna hurt you. Well, good luck.
The bushes will not chase you. The shrubs.
The bush, George Bush is a good guy. All the bushes are good.
The bushes won't chase you. The shrubs won't chase you, or their children, or murder you or eat you.
Richard Connell, the most dangerous game. We teach that in schools, and it's hunting people in the woods. There's a lot of stories about that throughout history, and so it's safe to go out in the woods. No problem, kids. Just go out and do what you want to do. No, that's not necessarily the case. So you try to protect them from that. And sometimes they don't listen, and what do? You try to do the best you can, but without that danger, they don't realize the good. It's that I guess the whole good versus evil, yin and yang thing. It's like you can't have one without the other. An animal. If you're a stupid rabbit that sits out there and the wolves are howling, then you're going to get eaten. But if you realize it's time to run, then you run.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
one of my favorite sayings lately is, and I can't remember. I don't know if it was Juan Savin or who I heard it from, where they were saying, because there's a big argument about not a big argument, but they keep throwing up the whole thing about, save the democracy, save the democracy. And they were like, democracy is when you ask
two wolves, or ask two foxes
and a rabbit,
one chicken or one rabbit. What's for dinner?
2 wolves and a rabbit. What's for dinner?
Yeah, it's like democracy is 51% of the people taking 49% of the people's shit.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is very clear, concise, and to the point.
Mm-hmm.
That's democracy, and that makes it like, whoa.
That's why we have a representative republic, and that's why our founding fathers said that, listen.
Because an individual's rights should matter.
Mob rule is a bad thing.
Rights should matter.
Exactly. It's like, hey, we got some wolves over here, and I know you rabbits. You're trying
the rabbit. Maybe.
Yeah, it's like we got to have somebody to represent. Have some firearms to keep the wolves away from the rabbits because they don't understand what the danger is. A republic is a different thing, but like you've said before, all the Democrats talk about democracy. It's a democracy. The democracy is being destroyed. Yeah, it's being destroyed. It should be destroyed. Democracy is a bad thing. It really is. 51% of the people should not be able to take away 49% of the people's rights.
Right.
But that's what a democracy is. Well, you lose. All right, slaughter them. That's communism. That's complete. That's tyranny. Mm-hmm. No. And that's why we have juries. And see, that's why it takes 12 people all in agreement to convict a murderer.
But do you know how
if one person doesn't agree, 12 Angry Men, go watch that, play. If one person doesn't agree and they're like, I don't believe that this guy did it, those 11 people don't matter. That one person, that voice of freedom says, I can't convict the person. And that's what a republic is.
Okay.
And it's representing the rights of people.
But do you know how rare it is to get a jury trial? And most trials. You
better get one if you go to court.
You better ask for it, and you better
not have
fight
a
like
trial.
hell for it. Because most trials go to bench trial, which is in front of a judge only. And
one person that's co-opted to feed the system.
That may be. I don't know. I hope not. That's not true. But that is not in front of a jury. And I don't know when it was, but probably 20 years ago, they started this whole narrative where people were like, they started this narrative where it's like, oh, jury trial. Oh, you got jury duty.
Oh, exactly. Jury duty pisses me off more than anything else.
Everybody should try to get
nobody wants. I want to be on a jury.
You
Put me on the jury.
You should go to jury duty. That's your.
I would volunteer.
Be proud to go to jury duty. Everyone should go to jury duty. That is like your service to the country. You don't have to. You're not in the military, and you're not doing whatever. You're going to go sit in the trial box for a week.
First of all, you get paid to do it.
Well,
and they can't fire you.
But
you don't get paid shit. But they can't fire you from your job.
Whatever. You're going to sit there. You're going to hear a case. You're going to be part of the system. You're doing your duty to be part of our judicial system. You get to have a voice about how decisions are made in our country for a couple days. Go do your duty.
Well, listen to this, though. I mean, here's the thing. The Supreme Court has ruled early on back in the 1800s. Back in the 1800s, I don't know what case it was, probably Marbury versus Madison, one of the cases, the famous cases, to where it said that the jury not only sits in judgment of the crime, but of the law. And so what that means is 12 people.
You could change the law.
Exactly. So you can, and that's the most powerful thing. And that's why they don't want you to be on a jury. They're like, oh, jury duty sucks.
Yeah, what is this narrative of making people not want to go on jury?
No, it is. It's a narrative. But that's like your ultimate power. And nobody understands that, to where one person, all it takes is one person. So they can have a law that says, hey, you need to pay taxes. Oh, shit. I'm going to get dragged into court. Oh, man, I owe $100,000 in taxes. I'm screwed. But here's what happens. If it's a jury trial and there's one person out of 12 that says, well, this is unconstitutional. This is ridiculous. The thing gets thrown out because the jury can, and if you convince enough people to believe your way, what happens is you not only, they can be guilty of not paying taxes. And you can say, no, I'm not going to find them guilty. Even though they've broken the law. Hey, that guy he committed murder. Yeah, murder is a crime. I'm not going to convict him of that because, the law in place, says this is wrong. The jury can say, hey, you're not guilty. And guess what? Even though you committed murder, even though you didn't pay your taxes, and that's the law, they can say, we're not abiding by that law because it's not just. And the jury has the power to do that. It's called jury nullification. They can nullify any law that's on the books, anything that's on the books. And there's nothing anybody can say about it. And so that's the power that you have of we the people. And so many people don't understand that, to where, they can throw anything they want at you, pass any laws. It's like, hey, slavery's legal. Okay, well, you escaped, Dred Scott, all that stuff, and they bring the slave in there and they say, well, yeah, that landowner has got the right to your property, but the jury can say, you know what, that's the law, but we're not going to abide by the law because we don't think that's right, and they can overturn it. And so that is a Supreme Court case. And so people got to understand that, we, the people, have the power. And most of them are like, oh, I'll just have a bench trial. Well, you don't want to. You've got the power. Wow. You just don't understand the power that you have. Even in their system, even in the system they've created, you want to be on a jury. Absolutely get on the jury. If you're called to jury duty, I'm excited because I was called in a murder case, here in, in Illinois, and I was like, it was going to be an alternate and almost made it. And, it's just like, hey, man, if I'm on that jury, I don't care what the press says. I don't care I'm going to look at the facts of the case. And, if I don't believe that person should go to jail to be executed for the crime, I'm not voting for it. And all it takes is one person to say, well, that's it, mistrial. I'm not changing. 11 people can say it. If I'm the 12th guy that says no, then no. Go look at 12 Angry Men, and this is where art is so important. Go look at that play, and we're all supposed to be reading it and watching it and reading, 12 Angry Men. Go watch that, and it's just that those are important things that we need to internalize as a society to be free people, to where should we really be doing, we got to question everything. You got to question absolutely everything. And that's one of the powerful positions you can be in as a juror, that people just, they don't want to be a part of it. No, jury duty. Oh, that sucks.
It's crazy to me.
I know, but that's what makes our republic what it is. That's the beauty of it. And so when somebody's convicted by 12 people, their peers, not necessarily, how it's rigged now to where they take you to New York or take you to this place, you should be judged by a jury of your peers, people from your community.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, they've changed that. You're supposed to have the right to face, meet your accuser, and now they have video conferences to where, it's just, that's wrong. That's unconstitutional.
Yeah. Wow.
But we need to fight back that way. We need to fight back every step. Every opportunity we have to make sure that we exert our rights and understand our rights. And so many people don't understand our rights. My wife watches so many of these videos to where she's like, these cops are nuts, and they come up and they're like, yeah, hey, what are you doing? What's this and that? And it's like, don't answer any questions. There's lawyers that say, hey, if a cop pulls you over, shut the F up. Don't talk. You don't have to tell them anything. Don't get entrapment.
And it feels like I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm just doing the right thing. I just want to agree. And it's like, no, you don't have to say
understand
anything.
that you anything you can say and
yes, you're
will
yourself
be used against you. They say it like you don't understand.
Yes, you don't do that. And that's the thing. You want to be nice, but they're not playing nice. There's so many people that don't play nice. There's a lot of great cops out there, a lot of good police officers out there. But it's just like we're going to have police officers that are not from this country. They are all these people that they're bringing in are going to be, soldiers. They're going to dress them up and they're going to put them in uniforms. They're going to put them in all kinds of uniforms. And it's not going to be the country that you thought, but the rules are still in place. And as long as you abide by them, that's what you got to do. You got to know what your rights are.
That's not going to go well for a lot of people.
It's not going to go well, but you got to know what your rights are. And they don't teach that.
Oh, Lord.
I know.
I can think of a few that I know very well that's not going to go well for.
Nope.
We have about 3 minutes.
Yeah, we're close.
Should we ask everybody in the chat for a comment of what a prediction or a thumbs up, thumbs down for 2024? Or
yeah, right.
Well, what do you think?
What are we going to do? All right. So 2024, what's that? 2, 2, 4, that's 8. My life path is an 8.
That's an infinity.
It is. It's
yeah, that's a good number.
We're in an 8 year, even though I'm an ox, and I looked up the wood dragon, which is next year is a wood dragon, and the ox is supposedly not going to have a great year according to that.
I did for the cover.
Yep. We'll circle back to that.
Don't say that.
But hey, I'm going to own it. I'm going to take it away from them. But
maybe it is the year of circle back, reclaiming all of that shit. We're going to reclaim the rainbow. We're going to reclaim circle back. We can reclaim all of it. It's the year of reclaiming. What do you think?
I think so.
I like it.
It's up to us.
I'll even start saying circle back just to annoy that little redheaded chip.
Yes, little raggedy scam.
I actually think she's probably a good person, and she was just playing a role.
I even think that about AOC.
Most likely she's a...
It's so over the top with some of these people that it's like, okay, you're just there to
central
activate
casting.
people. Yeah, central casting. Yeah.
Oh, 11:59.
11:59. Na. Old Lang Syne.
You think we'll get a new picture on the deck clock?
Interesting, maybe.
We got this one today. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. IXOYE, the little fish.
There it is, Lisa. It's midnight in the Central Time Zone.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, well, crap. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Mwah.
Mwah. Love to everyone. Oh, my little Tiffany. Our little
Lisa was my first kiss on the New Year. Mwah. So what's that mean? I don't know.
Love you guys.
She stuck with me for a year.
My little Tiffany, our daughter, our oldest daughter, sent us a Happy New Year.
Yep, it's blowing up. Everything's gonna go. Everything's falling apart. Blackout.
Fallen. Yeah.
No, I don't think we'll have a blackout. I think they want to keep things going. I think they want to. Keep the game going a little bit longer. I mean, they're putting too many tools in place. They, ultimately, it's they want to put us in a position where we have to make a choice, and we can choose to be a part of it or not be a part of it.
I'm ready to not be a part of it. I'm kind of tired of it.
I know.
I had fun with the game for a while. Like, it was fun, but I'm kind of done. I'm ready to go to the lake and hang out.
I know. I'm the same way. It's been a struggle. I haven't made any videos on my channel. The only things I have is the live here and the live from last Friday. I haven't made a video since the 22nd, I think.
I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, it's just, what more can I say? I mean, ultimately you have to make that decision for yourself. I mean, where do you want to be?
I feel like I've seen a lot of evil. I've seen a lot of good. I feel like I know where I stand. I feel like I know where a lot of my friends stand. I feel like as things arise, I can make those choices, and I feel like I have a lot of the tools to kind of make those choices along the way. And I kind of feel like I just don't have to be caught up in the everyday drama. I still want, for me, it's like, I love the community. And so like, that's the only part that keeps me tied in of like, I just don't care about the mainstream news anymore. I really don't care. That's the part that I see myself separating from, about like, I mean, I hate to even say it, but even about like the Congress stuff and the whatever, like, I care less and less about it because I feel like it's a bigger and bigger lie. I just care less and less about it because it's like, wait, the defunct, bankrupt government that has abandoned me and lied to me and is stealing my wealth and whatever. I'm supposed to care about that? Like, yeah,
JDO in the chat, he mentioned
on that every day. I don't care.
No, exactly. And it's like, I feel like I'm not living in the real world anymore. My daughter tells me that all the time. I feel like I'm not real. This is my youngest daughter.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not real. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, I feel like I'm not real. And I get that. I know where she's coming from because she's a different animal. Definitely is. And, I feel that more and more with myself, to where I feel like I'm not part of reality anymore. And when I say reality, I mean the matrix, the artificial reality that everybody thinks is real. And JDO just put in the chat,
I feel like I could make a choice.
Yeah, I mean, I made my choice. I made my choice long ago, and what I do here is for the benefit of humanity. I think everything I do, because when I have a meetup, and I just want humanity to be able to connect, because I think at some point we're not going to have that ability to discern what's real and what isn't real, and I want to have a place that is real. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It is helpful for the community to have like a home base.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really healthy for the community to have a home base, and like a lot of us come there and connect, and I think that's really helpful.
No, I think it is, and that's why, looking forward this year, let me get to JDO's comment first, and then we'll look to the year ahead. JDO's comment, he mentioned, Litecoin Lisa, will Clint mention the freedom changes in Illinois tonight? So here we are, it's a new year, and they said guns. And, they passed something that went through the Supreme Court of Illinois, and the Supreme Court of Illinois, I think, upheld it, even though sheriffs said they weren't going to enforce it. About assault weapons, I don't know. That's the thing. It's not part of my world. Is it assault weapons being, 15 rounds or more, or a clip, or whatever it is? I don't even know. I'm not even up on it, to be honest with you. I'm not, so I may be in violation right now. I don't even know it. And it comes down to, during that process of them passing certain things in Illinois, most of the sheriffs in Illinois, and this is where it comes down to, the video that we talked about earlier, to where all states are red, all states are freedom states. It's just the cities within the states that are the ones that are holding the states hostage. Because if you look at the geographical across the United States, the people, the way they vote, they're not voting for tyranny. They're voting for freedom. And everybody around here votes for freedom, and they act that way. And so if the sheriff of a county says, I'm not going to enforce it, or the attorney general of a county says, I'm not going to enforce it, who cares what the legislature passes, because they're all out of Chicago and, in the urban cities, the hijacked, population. I mean, who cares? It's at the grassroots level. People say, no, it's just not my world. It's not my worldview. What's going to happen? What are you going to send the National Guard, the state police? I mean, is that what you're going to do? I mean, do you really want to do that? I mean, and so to me, it's just not in the reality. It's just, I don't think about it. I really don't. I don't know what the law is. And everybody says ignorance of the law, that's your problem. It's like, well, there's so many statutes on the books that I can't keep up. You got to be a freaking, the triple doctorate degree to be able to keep up with the laws that they pass. And no, I don't have to do that, because I know what the Constitution says. And if the Constitution says this, then that's all I'm worried about. I don't care about anything else. So if you take me to court, and if I have a jury trial, I will explain that case. And all it takes is one person to say, no, that's bullshit.
In that book,
if it gets prosecuted.
Yeah, Melvin Stamper, Fruit from a Poisonous Tree. It said, and at the time he wrote it, which was in the 80s, there were 400 million laws or something ridiculous. His point was, and it's exponential from that point, that there were so many laws on the books that it was impossible to be a lawful citizen at that time, because there's so many.
Find me the person, I'll find the crime. And that's what it comes down to. And that's what policy officers do. Yeah. They'll find a crime. Peace officers don't find a crime. They're like, have you violated the peace? That's why we need more peace officers rather than policy officers, police officers. And it comes down to, peace officers are your county people. They are sworn an oath to the Constitution, your sheriffs. But policy officers are your, more city people. I mean, that's really what it is. It comes down to a statute. It comes down to what they follow. But ultimately, it comes down to, again, you could be in violation of the law, just like, hey, all black people are slaves. And so, I mean, if you think that's not true, then you're in violation of the law. If you're trying to return a slave, or harbor them in an underground railroad, that kind of thing, then you're in violation of the law. Does that make it right? No. And so you have to get into a court of law, and, it comes down to ultimately those 12 people of your peers, are you going to convict? And then the fact is, does it even get to that point if you have a sheriff that won't arrest you and show up? And if they do, will the district attorney even prosecute? So very powerful people in the community that are directly elected. So you have to, that just tells you, the people decide.
Yeah.
Who is representing you. And so you think the president's going to change things? You think the governor's going to change things? Yeah, they can change things. They can pass everything that they want. But ultimately, it comes down at a local jurisdictional level. What are you going to do, and what are you going to prosecute at the local level, knowing that everybody around you thinks the way you do, and then you're going to take me to court? How does that end?
Well, and there's always the appeal.
And you know, so
it never ends. I can
do
tell.
I worry about it? No,
never ends.
I don't worry about anything.
Yeah, it never ends.
I don't.
Wow.
I live how I want to live, and that's how I live. And I, you know, hey, the Constitution is the law. Everything else is statute.
Absolutely.
Just don't get yourself shot when somebody shows up.
If I can make a New Year's wish, I wish, and I think it's already happened, but I still am going to wish it to put good energy out there. I wish and hope that Julian Assange will be freed this year. I hope that we have all of that information out there and that we all can see, have freedom of speech restored back to us, because I think he stood in the way, just like Trump is standing in the way. Once again, I think they came after him just like they are coming after us. He stood in the way for us. So I think that's kind of what is.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you know, people have to get in the way. Is what it comes down to. I mean, and you know, it can be at the local level. And yeah, I get it. You know, JDO said there's state police in every county, and the state police take the orders from the governor. I mean, just like Bill Clinton, you know, he told the state police to bring all the girls in. And I mean, does that make it right? Ultimately, don't get shot. Take it to court and have a jury of your peers. You know, because there is tyranny out there at the top. There absolutely is. However, you know, when you get it to the local level, to the people who you live around, they have to ultimately decide what is just and what is not just. You know, it's your sheriff, it's your district attorney, it's a jury of your peers. It's at the county level. If you live in Cook County, yeah, basically you're screwed. But if you live in local counties that are outside of these big jurisdictions, then it's a different world. It really is.
It's a different world, but it's still America, peeps. So happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you on the other side. I hope. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in 2024.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.